Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's Mills here, Pub Sports Radio. Do you guys want to challenge the personalities here at Pub Sports Radio? Do you guys think you're better than them at entering in your MMA predictions and picks? Would you want to get paid for it? $100? Here's how you do it, man. You sign up right here at the link below. It's just this easy. PubSportsRadio.com. Enter your email. Pick your weekly picks. That's it. Oh, and you get bonus points if you can predict how they're going to win in what round. Every single week, a new winner's getting crowned. So every Saturday on Pub Sports Radio. So come on and check us out. You can win $100 just for signing up. Only thing you need to do is see if you can beat us here at Pub Sports Radio by entering your UFC predictions and picks weekly. Do it. I dare you. See you guys.
Your membership to gold, you will be automatically entered in every horse race every Wednesday and Friday.
A lot of names, a lot of familiar faces, and another chance for $50 to sign up for PSR Gold. It's going to be a lot of fun. Why wouldn't you want to be on this list, huh? Frank, that's a great question. Does AI determine the winner? No, Frank. The fastest horse does. So shout out to everyone that's a member. We appreciate you guys. We let our horses run forever. 2.5 hours.
Hey, we're racing.
It's Antonio. Here we go.
And they are off.
You know I'm not winning this. My horse ain't like this.
And here comes Big Show, who says 2 minutes is too long. Big Show wants this race to end right now. Going to be moving into the stretch soon. K-Wolf up front. Saturated making a move. And there's nasty motherfucking Nate. Director 97. And he should have been 40. He should have been 40. Director 97. $100. He wanting all the money.
Oh my God,
Director! And it's Director 97. Back.
Oh my God!
Fresh, take it home! Here's 6-5-4! Oh God! Saturated. Friedrich gonna come home with it. Is it Billy Friedrich's time? Is it his time? No, it's not. Cody Norton making this Billy the fight with as well. Billy the fight. Algary's coming down. Does Coin have enough space to get home? Or will Daby take care of business? Here comes the show. A third win for Director 97.
But Connor Mack takes out. He might be blowing his load a little bit too early. Is anybody? The contestant, here comes Iron Eagle out of nowhere. Iron Eagle.
It's a packed race. 5 seconds. Crystal from the back. Crystal. The family wants that.
Get 'em, Jimmy, where low shack at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm the cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, who get produced, fade the juice, letting loose with so much abuse that the bookies wanna call the truth. They get slaughtered, can't forget Jeff and low baggers in the chat. That's a lethal weapon, cause we be, oh yeah, pubbing. We be pubbing!
What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, June 27th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. It was a very strong day yesterday. Difficult card, very strong day. Shout out to our very own Jose Bouquett. Board sweepage in soccer. Venezuela taking out Mexico. Excellent work from our Jose Bouquett. I went 3-1 in MLB, so we are 9-5, 9-5, up a little over 4 units on the week, climbing back to the black. We got a great show today with Jose running so hot in footy. We'll be talking Copa's games here, Panama, USA, Uruguay, Bolivia. So we'll talk those two. Then we'll get into CFL. I had a rough week in CFL, and it's not acceptable. If I'm going to make this a part of the show, then I have to deliver. 3 spots I moved on. I had smashed the line moves. There's been a bit of buyback, and, the 49.5 I could have had on the over in Edmonton, BC. It's now 53.5. Slatsy moved on it. Should have done it. But we have 1 CFL game today. Then we have 9 MLB games and extremely interesting ones. I'm close to making moves on a bunch of them, but what's been happening this week is, and even over the last couple of weeks, is the quantity of action has gone down a little bit, and the priority has come with talking it out with you guys in the chat, and it's showing in the win-loss column. I'm very, very close to the black. Well, 5 units away from the black still, but we're moving in the right direction. So I've laid off. I've seen the best bets in the chat, and I find them so interesting. I find this MLB card so interesting. We have more major league debuts, season debuts, first starts, a whole bunch of stuff. Old guys, young guys. We have the whole gamut here in MLB. And then we got 4 spots in WNBA, and the first game is at 1 p.m. Eastern. 1 p.m. Eastern. So, Jose, if you could message Brizzy, I forgot to message him about that we're definitely getting him on before the 1 p.m. game. So I'm not sure how we'll handle it. I think we'll be fine with time because there's not that many games. But if you could just message Brizzy, let him know that we'll definitely be in time. So Lynx Wings 1 p.m. action. And you guys, and I haven't moved on any of these spots yet in WNBA that you guys are on, but you guys have smashed these afternoon spots in WNBA. And of course, we know what these afternoon spots are like. They're kind of sleepy first half unders type of situation. And we'll break that all down. So then there's 3 night games with that one game. It's also Lynx in a letdown spot after, winning the Commissioner's Cup. Pretty interesting spot against the worst team in the league, the Dallas Wings. We'll talk about all that. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Viper NB in the house. We got the Truth Teller. Viper NB moving on San Francisco money line and New York Yankees money line. Billy Friedrich on the other side with the big move play today. Cubbies first 5. It's hard not to be interested in fading Imanaga. There's a lot of similarities between what the Giants are doing to lefties and what the Mets are doing to lefties and what the Mets just did to Imanaga. Still, seeing both of you guys on either side does give me a little bit of a sense, a bit of a relief that I have not moved on anything yet. Gerald Jones, St. Louis run line, first 5. So first 5 minus a half at plus 105 for Gerald Jones. Let me make sure I got all of this copied. And I already did that. Copied and pasted. We have the stacks play of the day. It is the Yankees over 4.5. Yankees team total over 4.5 at even money. The Yankees, and that's such a fascinating game as well. Carlos Rodon versus Jose Barrios. Rodon does not look good. Just got lit up by Atlanta. Has not looked good. And Barrios has been great at home, but he's not looked that good of late. The Blue Jays, since June 1st, are hitting 184 with a 510 OPS versus lefties, by far the worst in the league. So can Rodon get right here against the Sad Sack Jays? Probably. So much to talk about. Billy Friedrich says, also, Jose, take your victory lap on Venezuela. The UFC contest is live. There's our guy Swiggy in the house. The UFC contest is live. Free contest, $100 to the winner. So sign up for that, UFC 303. And also check out the Locker Room podcast, our big UFC show on Pub Sports Radio. We got Justin McKelvey, Billy Friedrich, Lee Davis, Troy Torrance ready to get to work. Brahma B, Wine Time Sports, some solution with the horses. Yes, it is horse day. We have $50 up for grabs in today's horse race. for gold members of Pub Sports Radio. And we thank all of our members, especially our gold members. And now can get $50 richer. Nate Dogg ready to go. Morgan Spooner moving on. Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs is the Pissy Cheerios play of the day. Kyle Schwarber. It is Kyle Schwarber. So let's get that all set up here. That's another interesting game. We have big favorites. And I know that the Phillies smashed lefties, but Trevor Rogers has been pretty good. Pretty good over his last few starts. Can he hold them down enough to get the first 5 under? I mean, that full game total has gone from 7.5 to 8. As always, there's just so much to talk about. Joey Marinaccio, the dapper capper. There is Kelly McInnes ready to go. So we're rolling. Troy Torrance, cash cow on a 7-game winning streak. Vom Polo in the house says, big love to my man Jose. Got me on that big plus money. Great group ready to rock. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet play of the day, Spreadsheet dog play of the day. That's up 13.6 units. Imagine being up 13.6 units with only 31 bets. I mean, that's elite capping right there. Is the LA Angels. And Davis Daniel. We're less than 24 hours, and I watched the whole game of watching Hayden Burnsong deliver in his first game. Can we see the same thing from Davis Daniel making his MLB debut? Ron Crawford thinks it is possible. Top set in the house, the community of new knowledge. LQ making a move on the Seattle Mariners. Ron Crawford, WNBA play of the day is Seattle -8.5. That's a lot of juice to drink for LQ, but he's comfortable drinking that juice here. It's not easy. There's a lot of spots here with a lot of.
And you confirm drink juice?
Yes, I have. It's drink juice. I have. I asked around. See, wait a minute. Sorry, let me just set this up here. I have confirmed. I asked around whether people eat juice or drink juice, and in fact, it is eating juice.
Drinking. You said juice. Eating there, but yeah.
Drinking juice. Sorry. Seattle first half. LQ for Seattle Storm first half. Pricey, maybe it's a parlay spot there. Razor Sharp picks in the house. 3 straight gamblers first glance winners. Vital says, love what the Giants are doing since the Cubs walked the winning run and snapped the Giants losing streak, but always hard to sweep a team. Canadian Capper 72 in the house. UPK Ayash Yala ready to get to work. 5-leg K-prop parlay. And look at that Brooklyn Funk Project. Our guy Pete in the house. We've missed you, Pete. Hope all is well in Nova Scotia. What a beautiful time of year, I imagine, for your spot. Pete's got this beautiful spot on the water. So shout out to you, a Brooklyn Funk Project. Nate Dogg, what a guy. Blessing our action, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. What a guy. And there's Deer Slayer Ski, Michael Buelna, Patrick Joyce, Jesse Gomez, and Jonathan Maltai all grabbing it. I love it. 101 Benny in the house. Top set leading Toronto first 5. I can't wait to talk about that. Von Polo best play today is Brandon Marsh total bases over. Let's get that all set up for the Phillies game. So Brandon Marsh for Von Polo, Schwarber for Morgan Spooner, Nut Flush Allen in the house. Shout out to our guy Nut Flush Allen, our guy Mike, Kristen, and Skylar are right now driving across to Montana, where Bailey is starting med school to drop off some more stuff. Safe travels, Mike, and just love the Nut Flush Allen family leading by example, and their eldest daughter now in med school. It's pretty exciting stuff for a pretty wonderful family. Nate Dogg, Nut Flush Allen, Justin McKelvey, big show picks in the house. Rodney Barton having a tough time with MLB. Rodney. It's a battle. It's a battle. One of the biggest battles you can imagine. MLB. I think it's the toughest thing that we're trying to do in sports betting is betting the 162 game season of MLB. Goran Nikovsky said that my dumbass took the Cubs money line. That was my lone loss on the day. I fell for that too. Fat Wally in the house. It's the first time I've seen Fat Wally. I don't know if you guys know, but Fat Wally picked up 25K at the Royal Ascot, and it couldn't have happened to a better guy. We love you, Fat Wally. Congratulations on your big casher. I absolutely love it. Nunya ready to get to work. Kong's Clips. Joseph Gomez says we need a fireball shot for the Venezuela win. Colorado Bull in the house. Let's get his action here as well. Stimmy OG is on the Elks +8 in the under 54.5. That's, I'm with you on the Elks +8. We'll talk about that. I love hearing your action. That total, I guess you're saying it's just climbed too far. It's funny because I didn't, even at 49.5, I didn't immediately bet it. And I could have. Slatsy told me he'd done it, and I was thinking about it, and then I thought too long. I woke up and it was 52. So, Stimmy OG, let's copy and paste your action here. Oh, for today, Goran is on the Cubbies today with Imanaga. That could work. I mean, you're correlating with our guy Billy Friedrich's first 5, so that could work. Don't beat yourself up before the game has been played. Andrew G ready to go. Andrew G says, I want to be like Fat Wally with 25 large. Yeah, 25 large for our guy Fat on one single race. Exacta, trifecta, both cash. He picks up 25 large. Our guy. All right, it is time to get to work, and let's bring on the hero of yesterday. Board sweepage in Euro and Copa. Please welcome from San Antonio, Texas, home of the Southtown 101, best bar in Texas and home of Pub Sports Radio. Please welcome Jose Bouquett to the show. Jose, how are you?
Doing well. Can't complain. I put up this background so you guys wouldn't complain about my insane asylum look still. We had a good night last night. Aside from, by the way, Jimmy, I didn't tell you this. I dropped. There was an entire gigantic bottle of red wine on top of my fridge yesterday, and I closed my fridge hard. Fucking toppled. Shattered everywhere. Fucking disaster in the kitchen, which took me like 45 minutes to clean. But other than that, it was a fucking fantastic day.
It was, and everything, there's always going to be some things that go wrong in a day. It wasn't your capping here. You're
the other thing too.
Well, Canadian Capper says your crack house is gone. Now, he called it an insane asylum, and it doesn't look like an insane. It looks like a crack house. So let's
is this better for everyone? Is this everyone wants? I could turn into former ski prophet here.
Oh yeah, that was ski's spot there for a while.
I'm in the ski prophet residence now.
It was wild. I had so many people say, "Man, you see the way ski is living," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you guys really."
You know what? Maybe I should post this so that people can start believing this.
It's amazing.
This is my new apartment, guys. I moved out of the raccoons. Here I am. I picked up a little piano on the side as well.
Congratulations on your success. Talk to us about the Venezuela game versus Mexico and how you see them moving forward.
Well, it was quite funny. Obviously, penalty. Shout out to them. We're crafty Venezuelans, Jimmy. We're crafty. We fight for. I texted one of my friends who was on a cold streak, and I've told all my people around me to bet Venezuela to win the group. And, not many people listen to me when I go on these impassioned rants. As you could see in the chat, as I said for a week or so, several shows to bet this team, blah, 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 blah. You're either going to win. Probably no one tell the group. Now people are, after hearing me rant and rave about how Mexico is floundering, they're terrible, et cetera, maybe they've caught on. And, shout out to my brother-in-law. I guess that's what it is, right? Brother-in-law?
Yes.
Because he had a lovely first half call, and then he didn't have to call the ass whooping we had to put him on the second half. Great save by the goalie. First Venezuelan goalkeeper ever to save a penalty kick in Copa America. First ever. It was so funny. I was like, okay, here comes the draw, and then not even the worst penalty kick of all time. Probably the worst kick of all time.
Didn't look. He had no confidence at all. It's funny. Your penalty kick in the 55th minute, the leading goal scorer in Venezuelan history.
The GOAT.
He looked like he was going to score the whole time. There was not 1 second. He looked so focused the way he was staring. And it's funny how you can read these guys a little bit.
Oh yeah, you can see it. Yeah, the walk up, the whole thing, and penalty kicks. It's all a thing. But yeah, no, Solomon Rondon, greatest Venezuelan player of all time in soccer. By the way, guys, this is lining up like the WBC. This is the exact same pot of stew we've got mixing here. This is Solomon Rondon's last Copa America. His goal, he's going to retire after the World Cup qualifiers. His main thing is to get Venezuela into the World Cup, and that's my white whale. Still, I'm trying to get Venezuela into the World Cup. I'm willing them to victory there. But this is his last Copa America, and this is just like the WBC with Miguel Cabrera. Everyone rally around the old man. Now, luckily for them, Solomon Rondon actually can play the sport, unlike Miguel Cabrera, who might have been a little washed up. But this is the same thing. The boys are rallied up, and now, Jimmy, we have a date in the round of 16. Canada's probably gonna, come in second place, and I just want to avoid Argentina. So it's gonna be very interesting.
Extremely enjoyable if we could go head to head in that one with live stream waiting to happen for sure. I would love that opportunity. Also, Sammy Culmer in the chat now on the West Coast, the best coast.
Oh, and Delta.
Yeah, man. And now Delta, not as good as some of those municipalities over there, but still nice to have them out west. I wish I was over there as well. So let's see if Jose can stay hot. Copa America, 6 p.m. Eastern tonight in Atlanta, Georgia. Panama facing the United States of America. Right now at Pinnacle, we'll go over the lines. USA at minus 248 to get the win. They opened up at minus 237, so not being a big move towards them at all. There had been, though. This yesterday at 11 p.m. got up to minus 291. At 11:30 p.m., minus 292. So that was the high watermark. So from that point on, we've had 60 cents about of movement, or I guess 50 cents of movement towards Panama here. The draw has also gone away from the draw. This has just gone to Panama. But, also the odds have tightened here. The juice has gone down. So Panama is a much bigger dog than they started. USA is slightly bigger favorite. Panama opening up plus 629, now plus 768. So let's take a look at this one, and let's take a look at the total here and hear how Jose is going to stay hot here in the Copa America. This total is at 2.5. It is minus 114 to the over. It opened minus 105 to the over. 9 cents of movement towards the over. Take it away. Panama, United States, Jose.
Yeah, so obviously this is a game everyone is going to be watching. Here's the thing: the United States is fine. They're good to fine. Panama is not good, but I just can already see the Panama counterattack rumbling down the field after the United States has the ball for 2 minutes, and I can just see Panama scoring in this game. So both teams to score yet again here. We cashed last night, or I guess yesterday. I shouldn't even say last night, with Turkey and Czechia. When Czechia scored with 10 men, which was really exciting there. And then Turkey scored in the 90-some minute to clinch it, which was a ridiculous wins for me there. But I kind of feel like this is going to be, a 2-3-1 game. I think Panama gets on the scoreline. And in my ideal world, either Panama scores first, puts a scare into the United States, they wake up and score immediately after, or it's garbage time and we get a Panama goal that way. But I do think the United States is good enough to get the victory, but I don't know if their defense is good enough to, shut out Panama. So I will be very interested to see how the United States defense holds up here and how for real they'll be, because I'm pretty sure the next game's against Uruguay, and we'll talk about them here very soon. But both teams to score, for me, official in this game, plus 110, and both teams to score with a USA victory, plus 260. I'm also betting as well.
Okay, so we have both teams to score at plus 110, both teams to score, and USA win at plus 160. Plus lines.
260.
260. Sorry, my bad. Plus lines for Jose to get started. Next up for us, 9 p.m. Eastern, Uruguay versus Bolivia at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. LQ sharing all of his action here. I will copy and paste that, LQ. Thank you for sharing that with us. We're in New Jersey for this one, East Rutherford. Let's take a look at the situation. On the money line, we have Uruguay as a huge, giant favorite. Opened up at minus 460 and got up to minus 740. Minus 770. They got up to minus 770. Wow. Minus 770, and then have come back 250 cents. That's wild. That is absolutely wild. So, but still, Uruguay opened up at minus 460. So there was just this huge move. I guess it's just a parlay piece on everybody's ticket. So let's take a look at the total here in this one. This total is sitting at the exact same. No, it's not. 2 3/4. My bad. 2 3/4. This was a 3. This was even a 3 1/4 for a long time. So this has dropped down to 2 3/4 juice to the over. Jose, take it away. Game 2 of Copa before we get into CFL.
Yeah, I respect teams like Bolivia because they're at the bottom of CONMEBOL, and Venezuela needs to beat up on these teams to make it. So I respect this, guys. I don't have anything on this game. I was kind of looking, or I was trying to look at like a player prop in this game, perhaps. Like I obviously Liverpool fan, wanted to see what Darwin Nunez has scored with this team. Yeah, he misses a lot of chances, but he's going to get a shitload of them. But that was minus 140 for him to score. I was like, oh my God. So this was a tougher game. I expect it to be, like 2-0, and then Uruguay rolls. But it's a tough game. And Marcelo Bielsa, who's their coach, is one of my favorite coaches, actually. I love how he plays football. He got leads up and all that good stuff, and then eventually got, kicked out of there because he plays this very, like Jurgen calls it, heavy metal football, press, high, just going up and down the field, Harlem Globetrotter shit. They just have to be able to defend, and Bolivia is not going to be a team that scares them offensively. So, sure, maybe Bolivia can scratch one across here. The total is 3, which is the highest one we've had so far. So maybe they score one, but I wasn't confident enough. Maybe if you guys can do same game parlays out there, I can't. But maybe you can do Uruguay money line and Darwin Nunez to score. That's what I thought of, but I don't know what the price would be. So I stayed off this one. I was more focused on the USA, which I'm sure again everyone's going to be watching.
A lot of talk in the chat about the military coup in Bolivia took over the palace. Do you think that the concern with Cappers in the chat is that it will negatively affect? You don't think it can bring the team together? You think it's a negative effect on Bolivia?
Well, what an interesting fucking angle that we're capping here, which is hilarious to think of. Yeah, it's tough to say. I think because, assuming most of their families are still there, it'll be a negative thing. For the guys that aren't, like, families not there, I think they're, generally fine. It's worrisome, sure, but it just depends how many guys are, families are there. And Joseph Gomez, I had Darwin Nunez to score minus 140 there, and that was anytime goal scorer. So that's crazy. I'll double check if maybe I saw a minus instead of a plus, but I think it'd be a negative thing mostly, but I just it's not a thing that I'm factoring into the capping, honestly.
Markel on Uruguay minus 2.5. Swiggy saying most of their players are expats anyway, so their families aren't in the country. Tori Coker in the house. So Jose, fresh off board sweepage yesterday, excuse me, 3-0 in soccer. He has moved on the Panama USA game, staying away from the Uruguay Bolivia game. He's on both teams to score at plus 110 in Panama USA, and both teams to score in the USA win at plus 260 for Jose Bouquett, looking to stay hot in footy. Excellent work, Jose, and congratulations on your big victory. big victory for Venezuela.
You had a big victory as well. The additions have been made, Jimmy. We don't have to talk about them now, but the additions have been made.
Well, I'm interested. I'm interested.
I know you are.
We have been working hard behind the scenes. We also have been working for the first time. We've been working on your grandma was wearing your sister's panties play today again. That's a tricky one. That's not easy. So we have begun developing the graphic for that. Now that again, it's a fine line. It's a fine line, and we believe we may have found it. And we are working on that right now. All right, it's great to see all of you guys. Let's get into CFL. Look, I am not delivering. Clearly not delivering. I can't let it continue, but it's happening here. Let's get into our game of the day because we've heard from Stimmy OG. We've heard from Colorado Bull, and I'm with both of them here. I'm on the Elks at +8. Now, I felt better when they had moved to 6. It's now at 7.5. Should I have moved on that over 49.5? Well, obviously, looking at where we stand with the odds, I should have, and I didn't. And I'm a little upset by it. Even the total in the Alouettes Argonauts game, even though I've beaten that market move by 80 cents on the money line, but still, I probably should have moved on the over in that one when it was 47. Now it's up over 50. Here we go, though. A lot of books have switched this to a 7. Pinnacle opened this at 7. Now, Pinnacle opened this late. Pinnacle didn't open this line till Tuesday. We bet our CFL action on Sunday, and we smash and grab the market moves. We'll see if that, means that we are going to succeed. And I believe in the long run, it's going to be very helpful. But I got the 8 on Sunday at Bet365. This opened up at 7 and has moved to 7.5. Now, this 7.5 was initially moved there this morning, 808, and was -108. Now it's -114. So we think a 7 is coming back. And from a total side of things here, we have a 53.5. Again, a 49.5 was available. We don't wait. We're not going to wait for Pinnacle. Those of you on Twitter with us, we are going to make all our moves on Sunday. And again, just smash and grab these line moves. Pinnacle opened this up at 52.5 on Tuesday when we could have got 49.5. So yeah, I've got a sense of anger that I didn't move on it when I had every opportunity in the world to do this. Mally Mal says these CFL games have been going over lately. And Jerry Davis on BC -6 and the under 53 says BC defense has been doing work. So it's a very interesting defense, Jerry. So let's talk about it because it's very, very, very interesting. The Lions have absolutely dominated this matchup. And I'm just dominated the Elks. The Lions have beaten the Elks 7 straight times and covered them all. They've just smashed and grabbed these Elks. The Elks are coming off their 3rd straight loss to start the year. A tough 39-36 setback at Toronto. We got BJ's action here. I'll copy and paste that in a second, BJ, my man. And Markel, we have Billy Brisbane with a fixed mic joining us here for WNBA at the end of the show. The Elks, look, I've lost a lot of money waiting for, Chris Jones's team for him to show how much his team has improved. And I was, the market has been Elks darling. Sort of like when the Browns were losing nonstop, the Sharps have been all over the Elks. And I faded the market move last week towards the Elks. There was a pretty legit market move towards the Elks, and I faded. Now, I cashed the first half very easily, and I lost the full game. A very questionable decision by the Argonauts on their own 18 or so was a handoff to the running back, and he, then looked for a deep pass to the wide receiver, and that was intercepted, and that kind of made me want to smash something and really change the momentum of the game. Mikey Money in the house. Ricky Bobby says, do you like the Elks team total over 22.5? Now, the number 21.5 that was hanging earlier is already over that very important number of 21. So yes, I like the Elks team total over 22.5. But I've decided to stay off the total as it's moved so quickly to the over. Again, let me repeat. For those of you on X, every Sunday, we're going to have our CFL action out. I'm going to have my action out, and we're going to beat these line moves by 2 to 4 points, all of them, totals and sides. It's crucial that you, if you want to attack these games, that you hammer that. It goes back to that Stampeders game that against the Lions, where that opened up at 9.5. We bet it at 9.5. By showtime, that was 8, and I had a lot of my friends follow that action and lose because of it. So just know that every Sunday, my action is going to be out there, and we're going to smash guard these line moves. So the Elks have improved. There's no doubt about that. These first 3 games, you look at game 1 against Saskatchewan. Now, I was on the Elks, and I think they were maybe 1 or 2 point favorites. I think that's what it closed at. They were up 18-8 going in the fourth quarter, and they lost badly, 29-21. But they were in control of that game, then they fell apart. Then they have a second straight home game. They play the Grey Cup champion Montreal Alouettes, and they lose 23-20. We were on unders in that game, first half and full game, and we should have added the Alouettes team total under, which just barely cashed. But, that was a pretty well-played game. And then we saw what Montreal could really do when they destroyed the Red Blacks in their home opener. So then they go across to Toronto and lose 39-36 on the last-second field goal. There's no question that this Elks team is improving. Now, can they cover against the bully BC Lions? McLeod Bethel Thompson was excellent in Toronto. The best I've seen him play ever. Ever in my life. The best I've ever seen MBT play. 28 for 38 for 4 touchdowns. Dylan Mitchell caught 5 passes for 120 yards. Mayala caught 5 for 72 yards and a touchdown. And ex-Argo and ex, for you Canadians out there, Wilfrid Laurier, Golden Hawk, Canadian national Curly Gittins. God, I love Curly Gittins Jr. He caught 6 passes for 52 yards and a touchdown. And he single-handedly, delivered for Wilfrid Laurier. And there's very few, football players that, we can be so proud of that have come from Canadian college institutions. There's more and more and more. And of course, Trey Ford, the backup quarterback, is also a star. And even Curly was a second runner-up for the Heck Crichton Award. So I love that guy. But it was yet another game where running back Kevin Brown didn't get touches. He finished with 7 carries for 27 yards. Kevin Brown has 25 carries for 100 yards. This guy ran for 1,150 yards last year. When the Elks turned their season around last year, they did it with the ground game, and Chris Jones is leaving the ground game alone. And this Elks defense is not good enough. You got to keep the other team's defense on the field for a long period of time, and Jones just isn't doing that. The Elks just aren't doing that, and it's really irritating. But Bethel Thompson is a check down specialist who keeps a clean game, generally. He keeps a clean game. Even in the last game against the Argos, his longest pass was 39 yards. He keeps everything very, very clean. Shout out to our guy, Darius Morwan. What a guy, gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. You're the man. What a guy. What a great, great group we have here. Thank you so much for that. We're about to get into MLB here, but let me just finish this. MBT is a check down specialist. This Lions defense that Jerry Div is talking about has been able to bend but not break. They're allowing the most first downs in the league. This falls right into the Elks offense. Their teams are able to put long drives up against the Lions. Now you got to use Kevin Brown in this football game, but the Lions have allowed 749 yards over their last 2 games. 2 wins. Beat the Bombers in Winnipeg 26-24, take money out of my pocket, and then they beat the Stamps 26-17 at home. So they hold these teams to 41 points, and yet they put up 749 yards. The Elks are just much better than their 0-3 record. And the Lions are a very good team. In the 26-24 win at Winnipeg, I challenged them. They took money out of my pocket. Vernon Adams went 21 for 33 for 398 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alexander Hollins was a one-man wrecking crew, 7 catches for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns. Vernon Adams leads the CFL with 1,038 yards, and we're going to see this all year long, and at some point this is going to hurt the Lions. He's dealing with the clear abdominal strain. He is hurting on the sidelines. Now, he's a man. This guy is a warrior. He's a bulldog. He's easy to love. You could tell why everybody in that locker room loves the guy, because he plays through this pain. But he's hurting consistently on the sidelines, and at some point this is going to get the Lions right in the drink hole. Will it be tonight? This is late night action for us too. 10 p.m. Eastern. It starts 7 p.m. Pacific. I'll be watching it. So he's listed as questionable, but he's going to play. Campbell says he's going to play. Now, Stanback is probably going to run wild on the Elks run defense that's been so poor. I mean, can you imagine the Elks are allowing 114 yards per game on the ground, and their superstar running back Kevin Brown has run for 100 yards in 3 games? But so when it's all said and done, I missed the line move to the total, and it will anger me. I love seeing a few of you guys thinking that it's gone too high and betting the under. It makes me feel a little more comfortable. I'm on the Elks +8. Elks +8. And shout out to Darius Moore. What a guy. Darius, thank you. Darius Moore gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships. Means a ton to us. Nate Dogg gifting 5 Pub Sports Radio memberships before that. That means a ton to us. Thank you guys so much for your support. And I'm not delivering in CFL, and it's just not going to stay that way. It's not going to stay that way. So, and to give you guys a heads up with my action right now, I have the 8 with the Elks. I got the Alouettes money line at -125 on Sunday. That got up to -200 pretty quick. And I put 2 units on it. I bet it at first, and then I was messaging Slatsy. I was like, look, this is incredible. I got to bet it again. And I bet it again. That's -180 right now, so it's come back from the -200. And I'm on the Stamps +5. That got down to 3, and I was like, if this goes to 2.5, I'll go for the middle. It didn't. It's now at 3.5, so we're beating that by 1.5. And I've not moved on the Ticats Red Blacks game yet. That is our show for today, or that is our CFL breakdown for today. There's on the Elks +7. I love seeing that. 101 Benny as well. And Aubrey Travis took the BC Lions -8. Now the line's going the other way. You know, Aubrey, I wouldn't be too upset about it, Aubrey, because it went down to 6. So it went from 8 to 6, and now it got back up to 7 or 7.5. That's a good sign for you. So I wouldn't be too upset about it just because there has been buyback. Okay, there we go. That is our CFL breakdown for Thursday, June 27th. It's time to talk Major League Baseball. And, you know, we're over 500 now. We're climbing, but being over 500 in a world with VIG doesn't mean you're in the black. We got to keep our VIG down as much as possible. I have a problem doing that at times. Even though my average line is -103, I've taken a lot of -130s this year. We went 3-1 yesterday. So on Tuesday, we were 6-2 going into the 2 late games. And a breakdown in the 5th inning by the Nats cost us there. I ended up going 6-4. Only up 1.91 units when I felt like we read the board real clean. Yesterday, we were up 3-0, up 3.16 units going into the late game with the Cubbies and the Giants. And shout out to Hayden Birdsong. He delivered. He was great. Had his family there. Hard not to cheer for a kid like that. He showed poise. He's got 4 pitches. And the Cubs offense just doesn't look very good right now. So 3-1 plus 2.16 units. We're moving in the right direction, but it's simply not enough. We have Daby Cab with 2 best bets. We have a 9-game card that we're able to deep dive on. We have a 1 p.m. game in WNBA, and we'll get to that before it starts. I'm not sure exactly when we will get to that, but I promise you we will get to that before it starts. Why don't Jose jump on back with us here, because I see our guy Brizzy backstage. Does Brizzy want to hammer this now, or can we wait and hammer these 9 MLB games?
I think he's ready to go.
Brizzy, you want to hammer the 1 p.m. game now?
Yeah, does the mic sound good?
Yeah, it does sound good, my man. It's great to have you back in action. Brizzy, let's do it then. We are going to talk about this one WNBA game. Then we'll cap our 9 games. Remember, the first baseball game is not till 3:40 p.m. Eastern. And we've had great success with these early WNBA games. So let's get after it, Brizzy. Great to see you, my man. We got Getting Bills, Billy Brisbane joining us from South Jersey. We have the Minnesota Lynx, 13-3, 4-2 on the road at the Dallas Wings, who are just 1-5 at home. We're at College Park Center in Arlington, Texas, in a clear letdown spot for the Minnesota Lynx. Let's get into the line history and take a look at the cash flow for this one. Again, this one pops off in 1 hour and 18 minutes. From an odds standpoint here, we have the Lynx obviously feeling good about themselves as 9-point favorites. They opened up as 10-point favorites. It's the initial move early this morning was a clear move towards Dallas. It went down to 9, and then there was buyback. It's come back to 9 right now, and that 9 is juiced towards the Lynx. Take a look at the total. From a total standpoint, we're sitting with a 164. This opened up at 162.5, now at 164. Take a look at the cash flow for this one, because, with what we deal with in these early games, if you think of college basketball, you think of a letdown spot. I mean, and I still have yet to make a bet in WNBA, but right away you have to think about moving on the Wings first half or first quarter and the first half under. But we'll hear what our guy Brizzy has to say. 80% of the tickets have come in on the Lynx. I'm surprised at that. Look, I know the Wings are a bad basketball team, but take it away, Brizzy. Is this a letdown spot extraordinaire for the Minnesota Lynx, or do you still trust them? Floor is yours, my man.
We'll start with a broad view perspective. Started off the year hot in WNBA. I would say 50-50 WNBA. Then we got really, really hot. But I don't know what's up. This last week has not been the brightest. Had the Liberty in that Commissioner Cup game, and we're on a 3-game losing streak here going into this WNBA game. And the side that I'm on doesn't give me the vote of confidence, but you know what they say in the gambling business. You have to stick to your cap, and you just got to stick to it. And I feel like this is a big letdown spot. Less than 48 hours ago, the Lynx just got done the Commissioner Cup game. Not only did they win the Commissioner Cup game, they won $50K, $500K or whatever for the awards that were sent out for the Commissioner Cup winner. Kind of similar towards the NBA in-season regular tournament. Remember when the Lakers won that tournament and then they went on that losing streak right after? And I think I want to attack this one early. I just couldn't get to the window with the Wings on the spread, but I'm going to trust that they come out with a little bit more intensity. Last time that they had this afternoon game, it was last week with the Dallas Wings and the Chicago Sky, and it was in Chicago. Ended up getting a fucked up injury news report. Enrique ended up being in the game. Natasha Howard hasn't played all season, ended up playing in that game. I think they get the troops together for this one, and they come out hot. I'm on the Dallas Wings first half team total over 38.5 at -130. And I doubled up on this spot. This is not a type of play that I want to be added on my X, on my Instagram. I'll meet you at the window if we cash the ticket. We're going in, man. You got to be a gambler sometimes, and sometimes you got to take risks. You can't just take plays that you love every time. Enrique Ngumbawale, if she has a good game today, I definitely think the Dallas Wings could definitely win the game. I have her 20-plus points and the Dallas Wings money line +500 as a popular, what's it called under FanDuel? Player performance doubles under FanDuel. Enrique Ngumbawale, 20-plus points, and the Dallas Wings to win outright. Enrique's in a really good spot today. Pull up this Enrique stat stuff from the model here. I didn't know the play the assist or not. I didn't really want to go there, but I like the Enrique point prop straight up. Usually the Lynx are doing really good against post bigs, but when you look at her line, I definitely think there's room for wiggle room. She's gone over 13 out of her last 15 games, 20-plus shots in all of those games. So she ain't afraid of shooting. Second leading scorer in the WNBA. If she has a good day, I definitely think the Dallas Wings can upset the Lynx here. I don't think anybody sees it really coming, but there's 4 big favorites on this card today, and this is the one dog that I had to go to the window with.
I get it. I completely get it. I get it. I think I'm going to move on my first action. Pinnacle doesn't give you first quarter WNBA action, which is fine. I can take it over to
365.
Yeah, 365. So then I guess for me, I figure that the Wings will round into form after that opening quarter. To what extent, I don't know. But I do. I mean, I kind of like that first quarter under 41.5 rather than the first half under 83.5. I think that, I mean, if you had the option, is there one that you would like a little better?
I would probably say first half. With the Dallas Wings this year, they're playing these first halves really competitive. And a lot of these games, they're either winning at the end of the first half or somewhat within the number. And then they have the worst fourth quarter net rating in the WNBA by a wide margin. So when they're losing games, they're just giving it away in the second half. So it's like, I think the Wings are going to play good. If the Lynx play good or not, I don't know. But I would kind of lean towards more the first half than the first quarter. But from a ticket count perspective, I could definitely see the angle for the first quarter. Now, a lot of people are probably betting the first quarter. All the first quarter tickets are probably the Lynx. You know how like people play the first quarter to kind of eliminate the juice on a big favorite or something like that. So the Lynx first quarter is probably -2.5, -3, and that's probably all the first quarter tickets that they're getting. They're not really getting under tickets on the first quarter.
I'm gonna, you know what? This is my first 2 bets of the WNBA season.
Molly Miles says Dallas has 0 bench production. I will say Dallas Wings, their head coach is WNBA Thibodeau. She does not make subs. I watched the game last week, and Enrique Ngubawale was questionable, and she literally played all 45 minutes of the game, all the overtime minutes, all the 4 quarters. Like, she doesn't make subs. If Maddie Seagrass was in this game, oh my God, would we be fucking betting the Dallas Wings every which way so possible? But this is more of a gamble on Natasha Howard looking healthy. She looked really good in her last game. Her point prop was like 11.5. She cleared that probably like midway through the first quarter. I said last week we're gonna eventually get a spot with the Dallas Wings here where they're gonna be a big dog and we're gonna be on it. And today's the spot.
Well, I'm going to move on the first quarter, and the first quarter under 41.5 for me. Mikey Money has Wings +10 as his play of the day. There's our guy, Gavin Henry, in the house. Good God. Gavin Henry, a thoroughbred trainer in Jamaica, has given us 4 bets, 4 different races at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and cashed 3 of them. And the 61.25 to 1 exacta he got us last Thursday, last Wednesday or Thursday. Shout out to our guy Gavin Henry. Great to see you, my man. Hope all's well in Jamaica. You know that we'll be doing a low bag Summit of the Champions in Jamaica at your horse track at some point in the next 5 years. It has to happen. Shout out to Gavin Henry in the house. Okay, so Brizzy has moved on the Wings. First half team total over 38.5, and Obengawali 20 or more, and Wings victory. Mikey Money play of the day is on the Wings +10. Deshaun G looking at the Wings early on the money line and the spread. First quarter money line, first half money line. Justin McKelvey wants Wings +6 first half on the record, and I will be on the first quarter, and I wonder if I'm getting too cute on this. Top Crocodile says, can anyone find a Wings +10? Let's just take a quick look right now. Before we get into MLB, we have
+10 might be gone, to be honest with you, because when I sent out the premiums last night, the line was at like 10.5, and I just kept on staring at it like, am I going to do it? Am I going to do it? And I didn't do it. I just went with the first half team total. I feel like if the Wings are going to cover these first quarters and first halves, they're going to have to fucking score.
Yeah, this was a 10.5, quite a lot at Bet Online last night and early in the morning. This was a 10 this morning at 9:55 as well. This was a 10 at Bet Online until 30 minutes ago. So, you know, Mikey moving on at a legit number for sure. Okay, there you go. That is our game one. Brizzy, thank you so much for rocking with us. Are you cool to come back when we're done MLB?
Yeah, I mean, I could knock out the quick WNBA plays. It's a player prop and a spread.
Sure. Why not? Let's do it. Let's run through it quickly here. Next up for us, 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Connecticut Sun 13-3, 5-2 on the road at the Washington Mystics, 4-13, 13-5 at home. We're at Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C. And Gavin Henry has given us the goods for Horseshoe Indy Race 9. Copy and paste it. Copy and paste it. My guy, Gavin. Good God, it was such an exciting horse race too on Thursday because their quarter horse races, and we cashed in that thing. Maybe I was so pumped up. So pumped up. Okay, so here we go. We're going to go through these three quickly here with our guy, Billy Brisbane. From a side perspective, we have the Connecticut Sun minus 10.5 here, minus 112 juiced towards them. They opened up at minus 10, a half-point move towards the Connecticut Sun. And on the total, we are sitting here with a 152. This opened up at 153. Got up to 154 and then has come back. So a point down. Let's take a look at the cash flow. Do we get any information here? Yes, we do. On the total, 74% of tickets are on the under. We don't know about the cash flow. And on the spread, we're not going to know cash flow for any of these, but 51% of tickets on the Connecticut Sun. Take it away, Brizzy.
Yeah, there's just too many injuries right now for the Mystic for me to go to the window with them, despite the little momentum that they have. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. I mean, it feels like just last week we were talking about them being the only winless team in the WNBA. But it's just too many injuries. Like, they have Atkins, Dolson, and the rookie Van Loo really doing the heavy lifting for this team. And I just don't think it's enough here for the Mystic going against the Sun. This is the third meeting of 4 meetings. The last meeting is going to be in the last month of the season, and I think that's where the Mystics are probably going to have a little bit of value. The Suns have won 9 of the last 10 games against the Mystic overall. They already beat them twice this year by an average margin of 12 points. They covered the last line and it went under, and the first game it went over and they did not cover. I like the Connecticut Sun here laying the minus 10 that it's climbed up to. I would take this up to 10.5. I think the Connecticut Sun absolutely smacked the Mystic today. I don't think it's going to be too competitive of a game. The easiest way to cash an under is via blowout, and this totals at 152, by far the lowest one on the whole entire card today. I think the Connecticut Sun are going to win via route. Especially coming off those 2 losses against the Seattle Storm and Las Vegas Aces. We talked about it against the Aces game. The Sun beat up on the bad teams and they lose to the good teams. And that's why they haven't won a championship in years.
Minus 10 at minus 110 available at Bookmaker. A lot of 10.5s on the board right now. You've moved on the Sun minus 10, but not the under.
No, the under screams that I should take it. The Connecticut Sun have gone under 9 of their 16 games this season, 1-1 this year. Both of these, the Connecticut Sun are the slowest paced team in the league by a wide margin. And it feels like with all the injuries with the Mystics, for a team that only averages 78.4 points per game, and they have 4 of their top 6 scorers out of the lineup today. I don't see how the Mystics score, to be honest with you. Too Legit says team total under Mystic. I would run it. Yeah, I could definitely see that happening. No Carly Samuelson out there. I mean, no Brittany Sykes, no Shakira Austin. I mean, I can name more people that are out than in. Aaliyah Edwards is questionable, but I don't even think that even moves the needle.
Sun minus 10, minus 110. 2 more games WNBA before we break down the 9-game MLB card, and then we close up festivities with a $50 horse race for our gold members. Next up for our 7 p.m. Eastern, we have the Las Vegas Aces 8-6, 3-2 on the road. Chicago Sky 6-9, 3-5 at home. Wintrust Arena in Chicago, Illinois. From a side perspective, another double-digit favorite here. We have the Aces minus 10.5. At minus 105. This got up to 11 for a cup of coffee and came back. That's all it's done. 10.5 up to 11, and then it's come back to 10.5. From a total side of things, we're dealing with a 173.5. Highest total on the boards, climbed up from 170.5, although it was pretty heavily juiced to the under at this point. From a cash flow perspective, we have 59% of the tickets on the Las Vegas Aces. We don't know the cash flow, and we have all the information on the total. 61% of tickets, 71% of the cash. Brizzy, take it away, game 3 on the 4-game card.
Yeah, shouts to the chat. I know some people are looking for some baseball bets, and we got the WNBA DGens in the chat, so I'll try to make this quick. For prop of the day here is A'ja Wilson over 26.5 points. She's going up against the Bayou Barbie tonight. And I love this spot for A'ja Wilson. This is an absolute smash spot. The Sky are giving up 37.3 points per game, second most points in the paint. A'ja Wilson's gone over her point prop in 9 out of her last 11 games. Now she faces the second worst defense against bigs. There's so many things that pop out for A'ja Wilson in this matchup. It's ridiculous. She's gone over 6 out of her last 7 versus bottom half points in the paint teams. It's just screaming Asia Wilson's going to absolutely smash in this spot. This year, Chicago is allowing the most blocks, second most points in the paint, and the second most second chance points, and the third most offensive rebounds. I just don't see how the Sky are competitive in this game, despite this being at home. I just don't see how the Sky are competitive in this game. It's been like a weird year with the Chelsea Gray in and out of the lineup. Now she's back. I like the aces and I like the under.
You've got the aces and sorry, I'm just I have betted. I'm just tweeting it out here. That first game action. You have Asia Wilson over 26.5 points. What was the juice on that?
Minus 118. You got to shop around. I see a lot of books at minus 120, but you got to shop around.
And then, are you moving on the aces and the under?
No, I'm not going to move on the aces and the under. Just feel confident in Asia Wilson. I mean, she's by far best player in the league, and she's going to want to prove something a little bit to this rookie Angel Reese that's been streaking of recent.
Talk about the final spot on the board, 10 p.m. Eastern. Indiana Fever 7-11, 3-7 on the road at the Seattle Storm, 10-6, 5-1 at home. We're at Climate Pledge Arena in Seattle, Washington. This total is sitting at 168, opened up at 167.5, and then climbed up to 169 and was heavily juiced to the over. Looks like it was going to get to 170, but back to 168. Buyback on the total. On the spread, we are sitting here with the Fever as 9-point dogs, opened up as 8-point dogs, a 1-point move away from the Fever. Get to the cash flow on this one. No information on the total at all. And on the spread, we know that 74% of tickets are on the Storm. Don't know cash flow. Final spot on the board, Storm -8 is Ron Crawford's WNBA play of the day. Take it away for us, Brizzy. Fever, Storm.
People are tripping the fuck out with the Indiana Fever. Some of the takes that I've seen in the community for this game is just absolutely ridiculous. I get it. The Fever won 4 out of their last 5 games, but they're not a good basketball team. They're beating against shit-ass basketball teams. They played the Atlanta Dream twice. They played the Chicago Sky twice, and the Washington Mystics that we were just saying last week that were winless. Granted, I'll give them credit. They've looked a lot better, but this is just a Seattle smash spot here. You would never think that betting a favorite -9 or -8.5 would be the contrarian side, but everybody and their mom is on the Indiana Fever tonight, and I just don't see it. They get blown out here in Seattle. I'm kind of I'm waiting for the public to kind of come in on this a little bit, but I'm looking at Caitlin Clark under PRA here in this one. Just got to wait for that right line. It's at 29.5. I just need 30.5, 31.5. I'm going to take the under on Caitlin Clark's PRA because I think they get blown out tonight. Seattle's just too good of a basketball team. The general public doesn't know about the Seattle Storm because of they're like a super team. They have Nneka Ngumbawale, Drew Lloyd, Skylar Diggins-Smith. Like, the team's just stacked. Izzy McGuire. I mean, like, the team's stacked from top to bottom. I just don't see how the Fever win this game. They have a lot of fluctuating pieces. They have their French girl coming back tonight, I believe. They have another girl that is making her she made her season debut in her last game. So there's some influx pieces in the front court, and that's where they've been kind of finding a little bit of continuity. I don't think that continuity is going to be there tonight. I like the Seattle Storm a lot, and another game where I'm going to stay off the total on this one. I actually think this one could go over because that's how bad the Fever's defense is.
You got it, and not moved yet on the Storm and Caitlin Clark PRA under, waiting for the public to come in and make those 2 bets more appealing. Asia Wilson over 26.5 points and aces. Sky is on the Sun -10. And on this game that pops off in 59 minutes, which we're available to live bet, he's on the Lynx first quarter +3. Oh, sorry. I'm on Lynx first quarter +3 in the under 41.5. Brizzy's on Dallas first half team total over 38.5. And Obengawali 20 or more and Wings money line. Sports money, his play of the day in WNBA is the Wings +10. Wings +10. And also, Mikey Money, we have been working on the your grandma's wearing your sister's panties again play of the day. A very tricky graphic. Very tricky, but we have been working on it. Great stuff. Brizzy, before you go, touch on your thoughts of the NBA draft last night.
Man, NBA draft was lit last night. There was a lot of wild things that happened. And I feel like a dumbass because I definitely sat here and told you guys that Ron Holland was going to go top 10, but I didn't think he was going to go number fucking 5. I don't blame the Pistons, though. I mean, they don't have a coach. The new owner looks at the team and says, everybody wants to draft a G League Unite kid, so why don't we draft the highest point per scorer a game? Good move by the LA Lakers. I think they got the steal of the draft and Dalton Connect falling to 17. Dalton Connect was supposed to be a top 5 pick, and I was not with that. Portland Trailblazers got a lot better. They got Denny via trade, and then they got Donovan Klinging. It seems like the future's somewhat coming together for the Portland Trailblazers. They can kind of move on from playing DeAndre Ayton anymore. And I would say I can't believe I'm saying this, but one of the biggest winners in the draft last night, Memphis Grizzlies. They get a fucking center. I don't care who you put out there. You can put out a fucking statue. They did not have centers the whole entire year last year. We were joking around about how it was like the Memphis G League team last year. I think it was an overspend to get Edey at 10, but good pickup for them.
You went at 9.
Yeah, got him at 9. And then I would say the biggest steal of the draft is going to be Rob Dillingham getting traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves. We talked about it yesterday. The top 2 scorers in the draft both came off the bench for Kentucky last year. Reed Shepherd and Rob Dillingham both go top 10 and came off the bench for Kentucky last year. Is Coach Cal a good recruiter, or is he just a really bad coach? Because how the fuck do you get bounced out of the first round of the tournament? And both players that came off the bench went top 10. The 2 starters didn't even get drafted last night. Ridiculous. And then I would say another winner, Baylor Shinerman, number pick 30 to Boston. They get a big that can shoot. They don't have to play. As soon as they draft Baylor Shinerman, you saw Porzingis will not be available for the beginning of the season. Like, it was like they're locked and loaded and ready to go. I think day 2 is going to be interesting because the 2 biggest questions on day 2 tonight is going to be, where is Kyle Flopikowski going to go? My man flopped himself out of a lottery pick. NBA GMs are not happy with him. And secondly, Johnny Furphy. Kansas had a bad year this year, but Johnny Furphy was one of the winners of the season this year. But the scouts don't seem to be sold. The Australian said, I'm putting my name in the bucket because I think I'm going to be a first-round pick. Ends up not being a first-round pick. Bill Self says, dude, just come back next year. We have a championship team. We're getting Storr from Wisconsin. We have Harris, the point guard still. If you have future bets, the 2 future bets I would place for the NCAA tournament would be Kansas and Duke. Duke is going to oh, man, don't even get me started about Duke, but I'm glad the Sixers got Jared McCain. I think Jared McCain could be one of the sneaky under-the-radar point guards of the draft. In high school, he was right there with all the point guards like Stephen Castle and stuff like that. So I don't think he's that far off. Shouts to the Spurs, though. Fine. Get a fucking point guard. And I feel like Stephen Castle's perfect fit. 6'5", 6'6" point guard is going to shut his mouth. He's not going to fucking be too out there. He's just going to play basketball, play offense, play defense, and pass the ball to Wemby. Isn't that what we all wanted?
Yeah, it's a perfect draft. We're going to get into MLB right now, but before we do, can you touch on the Raptors pick at 19, Jacoby Walter out of Baylor, named after Jordan and Kobe Bryant, 6'4.5" right now. They say he might still be growing. He's got a nice wingspan. He can shoot. Do you think he could be a fixture for the Raptors over the next few years?
Yeah, for sure. Coming into the college basketball season, Jacoby Walters is one of the prospects I was like really, really high on coming into the season. I feel like this is a theme of the whole entire draft. A lot of these people that we saw in college, just based off of systems, they just didn't have the ball in their hand like that. It wasn't like Jacoby Walters just bringing the ball up and shooting the jump shots. Like, he was kind of playing off ball a lot. I definitely think Jacoby Walters could be I would say a Stephon Marbury-like potential, like if he hits his ceiling.
Yeah, that's an interesting. I mean, he seems like he can defend the perimeter, which
he can score. He could
We
score.
know that's
The
fine.
ball
Like,
in his hand, he scores.
we need guards that can defend the perimeter. The game is changing to such an
Yeah,
extent
for
where if
sure.
you can't defend the perimeter, just go away. Don't play in the NBA. They don't play on a team that I'm betting on because we know what happens. The team hits 14 threes, they win the basketball game. So I'm excited about him, but also just trusting Masai and his late round draft picks. You know, the last late teen draft, like late pick, just signed for what, 60 million a year. Spicy P with the Pacers.
I mean, that's such good value getting Jacoby Walters at 17 coming into the college basketball season. He was supposed to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah, he was supposed to be top 10 pick. Yeah, and we got him in 19. Yeah, we're excited about him. Great breakdown, Brizzy. Thank you for rocking with us, my friend. Vitalis, though. Vitalis says, Bridges trade, any comments? Do you think... Now, I read this amazing tweet about how they now have 8 players, all under contract next year for $124 million. And you look at the Suns with their big 3 at $150 million. That's all the Knicks starters. They're 6-man, 8 players on a contract for $124, and the Suns are in trouble. Do you think the Bridges was a great move, and are you interested in futures for the Knicks due to it?
It's crazy because as you guys know, Villanova is my favorite collegiate basketball team for years and years and years. I mean, I'll go anywhere to watch Villanova go play. And damn, that is a great pickup. But I was actually, mom actually said something to me about it, and I explained to her, it's a great pickup for the Knicks, but that ain't pushing them over the needle. Mikal Bridges is a really good basketball player, but I don't think that pushes them over the needle in the Eastern Conference with a healthy Giannis and Dame Dollar. I still see the Knicks struggling. I think the problem with the Knicks right now is how the fuck are they about to pay Isaiah Hartenstein? Because he wasn't even supposed to be the guy last year. He was supposed to be a guy that came off the bench, and they just had so many injuries to the front court. It looks like they should have paid Obi Toppin money after what the Pacers did to them in the playoffs, and they just let him go away in free agency. He would have been a great pickup. I think he would have been a great addition with this team at a cheaper cost, but I don't see how Isaiah Hartenstein gets paid after OG Anunoby is like top 10 highest paid small forwards in the league after last night.
Yeah, it's a problem with OG, and there's a few players like this across all the major sports that, when they're healthy, they have enormous amounts of skill. You have to ask yourself, will they be healthy in the most important game of the season? And I hate having that attached to them, but that was the same thing that we had here with the Raptors. Great stuff, Brizzy. Thank you so much for making time for us. You can see Brizzy right here, Wednesday to Friday, breaking down WNBA. And then we got the Olympic break, and he'll be right back in action with us. Please support Brizzy and support the Locker Room podcast, our big UFC podcast starring Brizzy, Big Show, Mills, and 2 Cents. Please support it. It's a show we're very proud of, so please support it. Brizzy, absolutely great work, my man. Danny Lopez saying he's taking U.S. first half for Copa America today. Brizzy, any last words here for the Capper Sporting Show?
Yeah, you got to follow me over on X. It's a big combat sports weekend. Make sure you guys watch the live stream on Saturday, Locker Room Podcast. Hit that bell notification for all of our live videos here on the channel. And tomorrow night, you could check the X page for Invicta FC as they make their CBS Sports Network debut. Invicta FC, a league all about women's fighting. Basically a filler league straight into the UFC. Have a couple plays for that one. PFL tomorrow night. Should be a fun weekend. Let's make some cash because end of June, I don't know how you guys do it in Canada, but in America, end of June is a big week because 4th of July is a very expensive weekend. So we got to cash some tickets for Independence Day next weekend.
We must cash tickets. Beautifully put from our guy, Billy Brisbane. Well, there you go. We have capped Copa. We have capped CFL. We have capped WNBA in my first 2 bets of the year pop off in 49 minutes. Now it is time to get our heads together and keep delivering in MLB. It's been such a battle, such a battle, but my quantity of action's gone down and my winning has gone up. And we're a couple winning days away from being in the black. We've won on Tuesday. We won on Wednesday. Now we have to win Thursday. Please welcome back my co-star here with MLB, coming to us from San Antonio, Texas, fresh off him watching his Venezuelan team deliver against Mexico. Please welcome Jose Bouquett back to the show. Jose, how are you?
Good. Excited for baseball. It's another tough card, but excited to talk about it.
It's a riveting card. I am so excited about talking about it as well. Let's get to work. We have best bets from Daby Cab. He'll be joining us on back-to-back games. He's got Rangers, Orioles, and he has, that's the second one. He starts with Marlins, Phillies. We've copied and pasted a bunch of action here for the cappers in the chat. Let's get to work. We start at 3:40 p.m. Eastern. We have the Minnesota Twins 44-36, 21-20 on the road at the Arizona Diamondbacks 39-41, 20-19 at home. We're at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. We have Jordan Montgomery pitching much better. I want to back him. We have the Twins destroying lefties right now. 309 average, 904 OPS since June 1st. We also have the major league debut of David Festa, 13th round pick in the 2021 draft out of Seton Hall. Not a really highly thought of prospect who's earned his way to getting his major league debut. We have two major league debuts here, and then we have Chad Kuhl back in the majors with a start. Now, he's had a few spots out of the bullpen. We see him starting here. Let's talk about young David Festa, 24 years old, from Verona, New Jersey. Again, he went to Seton Hall, where he was excellent in his final season. It took a couple years for him to start rolling. He was lights out in that final season. 72 innings, allowed 5 home runs, a 1.07 whip, 2 ERA. So then he gets into the show. He gets drafted. Starts in rookie ball in A in 2021. In 2022, again, he's in A at Fort Myers, and he's very good. And goes into high A and still continues to deliver. 2022, he really showed he was very, very good. So in 2023, he started the year in AA. And he didn't excel in AA. 19 starts. He was, 4.39 ERA, 1.36 whip, legit potential. And they brought him up to AAA for 3 starts at the end of the year, and he was good there. 12 in the third. He walked too many batters, 9 batters, but he struck out 15, only allowed 1 jack. So this year in AAA, you could tell he was more mature. 14 starts, 87 strikeouts in 59 2/3. And that's the one thing that we're seeing with these pitchers who are called up at this time of year. Something that Nut Flush Allen talks about all the time. The pitchers who are brought up at the end of the year by these teams who are playing poorly, they're fades. The pitchers who are brought up at this time of year might not be. And I know that Matty Ice has made a lot of money fading pitchers in their MLB debut, but this kid has earned the opportunity. 87 strikeouts over 59 2/3, a 1.29 whip for St. Paul of the Independent League. So that is David Festa. Montgomery's last start, 5-4 win at the Phillies. We know the Phillies are raking lefties. He went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, and 1 walk. At home, he's been lit up all year long. 324 opponents batting average. But I don't really believe it. What I do believe is both these teams are raking. We talked about the Twins' numbers against lefties. The Diamondbacks versus righties since June 1st, 277, 80 OPS. The Diamondbacks' bullpen's been a problem, and the Twins' bullpen has been really good. TJ says, back Festa here. I'm telling you, Twins. BJ has Arizona Diamondbacks under 9.5. Justin McKelvey has Twins team total over 4.5. Lot of very interesting action coming here from the chat. Troy Torrance says, when there's a short line, a total that closes between 8 and 9 after moving to the under and 50% of cash on the over, 13-3 to the over. 101 Benny says, new pitchers shouldn't be faded lightly. And Rem Most, as always, saying sweet things about you. Got a lot of
Rem, how are the Oilers doing?
Let's take a look at the line history and the weather here. I'm going to refresh the weather because it's been up 20 hours I've had this thing up. So we have, why am I doing that? We're in Arizona. Okay, roof is closed. Let's go into the line history here for this one. Line history wise, let's go over here and get the MLB up and Adam. We're going to be using Pinnacle lines. Jose will be using Bet Online market movements. If you're looking for a new book, we have great links for my bookie and for Bet Online. You get a 50% match by my bookie with cash, 100% if you use Bitcoin. And we are the only site that I've seen that gives you the Bet Online bonus without Bitcoin. That's supposed to be 100% with Bitcoin. They let us do it with cash, 100% for new accounts up to $1,000. We have Montgomery right now at minus 104. He opened up at minus 120. I mean, what a clear sign that even though Montgomery's been pitching better, the bats against lefties are going to be doing the talking for the Minnesota Twins, and that Festa will pitch well. I mean, that's just a clear sign we're getting. Also, we have an 8.5 at Pinnacle at 8:34 this morning. Remember, BJ got this last night. A big difference. This morning, this was opened up at 9, juice to the under, and we are now at 8.5. So we have a move to the under and a real legit move to the Minnesota Twins. Let's take a look at the cash flow here for this spot. And we have 30% of the tickets and 87% of the cash on the Minnesota Twins. We have 96% of tickets, 96% cash on the over. Professor Chris says Montgomery is not that good. He has not been very good, but he sure looked like the pitcher who was highly sought after at the trade deadline last year and this winter in the offseason. Take it away. 101 Benny says bigger fave based on what? Sorry, did I not make myself clear? Sorry, I'll do that again. 101 Benny. Again, the Minnesota Twins opened up as a dog in this one. They opened up as a dog. They opened up at plus 111. They've moved to minus 104, which is a pick 'em. They were very slight favorites about an hour and 45 minutes ago. So there's been a huge move to the Minnesota Twins. Take it away, Jose. Your thoughts on this action. Our first game of the day starting at 3:40 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And Mikey, I don't think there's a full run move here because this used to be, I think it was Simeon Woods Richardson, someone said. I'm not sure. And then it changed to Festa. So I think just the pitching matchup changes. And you said it's opened up at 8.5 at your book this morning.
9. Opened up at 9.
9, and now it's 8.5. So yeah, I'll need another half tick down. And I told you this morning, one of the first things I noticed looking at the market here, literally every single game, there is not one total that is bet to the under, even 5% of the money. That is the highest we have a bet on any under in this slate. And that is now 4% of the money, as I just said that. And that was in this very game, Twins Diamondbacks. Honestly, I see all the over love in the chat. I'm staying off all the overs today because with all that money makes me a little nervous. But the Twins, yeah, they're screaming the under, or not, excuse me, not the under. The market is screaming Twins. It's kind of scary betting David Festa here. I thought this was Festa of former Seattle Mariners relief fame, and we were just going bullpen day. So it was very funny seeing that it was not him. But yeah, I'll take the Twins. Full game money line here. I'll trust their bullpen enough. It's a solid bullpen. You know, maybe not my favorite bullpen of all time, truthfully, but they've got a great closer in the back end. And I'm looking up at Twins bullpen data now. All of them pretty much ready to go. Steven Okert threw 19 pitches yesterday, but hadn't thrown in a while before then. So bullpen should be good. Duran should be good. Twins money line for me. And of course, am I worried about Major League debut? Yeah, but we'll ride.
Yeah, Troy Torrance on first 5 and full game overs. We have TJ saying, you know, he couldn't be here because of work, but if he was, he'd be on Twins first 5 and full game officially. I think that, you know, and I get Professor Chris talking about the Montgomery Sierra and XFIP and how, you know, he's an average pitcher. You know, I think that he's a good pitcher. He's not been good this year. And the Yankees advanced analytics, you know, didn't want him. I mean, so look, there's truth to what you're saying, Professor Chris, but he's pitching better. But we saw Imanaga against the Mets. And now we have to make that same decision today against the Giants who are raking lefties. I think it's just the ability to hit lefties should trump all of this. And so I agree. And I'm going to take the Twins full game. What did you get on the full game?
I got minus 103 for me.
minus 103. We have another fascinating game after this that Billy Friedrich's Pig Milk play today. Cubs first 5 money line can lead us into. While that's, can you set this one up? Because I would like to get in. I think this market's moving pretty legitimate. It's come back a couple cents. Maybe I don't have to. Maybe I don't have to.
You can go ahead, get it in. We don't want you to miss the bet. We don't want
I
you to
can't miss it because it's not for 3 hours and 18 minutes. So it's
Jimmy, your White Sox Rockies bets recently has worried me a little bit.
That did make that was a. But then I close my eyes and I see Chris Flexen in a Rockies hat. I think of Maestro Fresh West, Certs without the Rets and Chris Flexen, and it was a mistake. But I caught it in time.
Yes.
Thank God.
Is that going to be a worry as you get older, Jimmy? You're just going to start betting, and you're like, "Fuck, I bet the wrong team." You just
Look, how many times has that happened in our career together? The only thing that's happened is I made the same bet twice. That's the only thing that's happened.
It was shocking. It was a shocking call to get. But let's talk about Cubs Giants here. Shota, Jordan Hicks, really good pitching matchup, and a line that's moving. I wouldn't say briskly, quickly, but it is moving towards the Chicago Cubs here. And we can start with that here. Minus 109 now, minus 103 opener for Chicago. So the flip happens here. Like I said, a great pitching matchup. And even in the face of that pitching matchup, 98% of the bets and money on the over in this game. Opened up at 7.5, minus 120 to the under at our friends at Bet Online. It is now minus 115 to the over in this game. And I, like everyone else, probably thought the same thing. First 5 under here. I mean, come on, these pitchers are great, but I'm staying off because of that. Like I said, all those totals, all the percentages being on the overs is just sketch me out here. So let's talk about Shota, because he has had, his first signs of real trouble here. And it's kind of not surprising at this point. He's, let's say, 3 months into the season now. And at some point, everyone gets tape of you. Everyone gets film of you. You get tendencies, and he doesn't throw overpoweringly hard. So last time out against the Mets, he got crushed for 10 earned runs. Now, sure, the Mets are a really good team right now against lefties. I can understand that. He dominated the Cardinals right before then. So, sure, is it the Mets being very good right now or Shota being bad? Probably a little bit of both. So I didn't know what to make or couldn't end up putting my faith in Shota. I will say the Giants against lefties this month, 3rd best, 153 weighted runs created plus. So it's kind of, I guess semi-similar to what we had against the Mets. They're at 176 weighted runs created plus against lefties, the Mets are. But that probably inflated because of the Shota start. So it's not an easy start for him, even in the slightest. Now, Hicksy on the other side, kind of in the same boat as our guy Shota, because he started off his season red hot, and last start for him, he got touched up by the aforementioned Cardinals former squad. So there's that, whole, everyone kind of knew him on that side. So it's very interesting to see what we're going to get from these guys. I think it is kind of the similar thing for both of them. They pitched really well to start the season. There wasn't really much information of how he's going to pitch you guys as a starter. And then as the time goes on, they get the information and it starts to become more difficult like it was last time against St. Louis. Now, I do expect both these guys to bounce back. I think Shota obviously is in the much more precarious situation here. The Cubs offense does not frighten me. 99 weighted runs created plus this month so far. Full season, they are at 96 weighted runs created plus. And yet, I'll tell you the side percentages now because we haven't talked about those. Not 63% of the bets, 91% of the money on the Giants. And this line, like I said, has flipped and is climbing towards Shota and the Cubs here. So, X's and O's wise, I think it's a Giants spot. I think they can get to him. And the bullpen that Troy has talked about several times is not very good. They used Smiley, Porter, Hodge, and Keegan Thompson yesterday. So we have a little Tyson Miller who they got off of waivers and was good. Hector Neris still hasn't thrown a while. Luke Little as well. There's names that I honestly still don't trust. Like, Hector Neris is good, but it's not names that I believe in. And the Giants bullpen is pretty tired in their own right. Now, luckily for them, Taylor Rogers, Helly, Ryan Walker all got days off yesterday and probably well deserved, but bullpen is pretty taxed, to say the least. So I honestly, it makes me lean towards the Giants, and I kind of do indeed lean towards an over in this game after all said and done. But there's no official action yet for me. Would like to hear what the chat has to say, and would like to hear what you have to say, Jimmy.
Initially, with Shota, I compare him a little bit to what happened to Luis Heel. Luis Heel had been spectacular. He got lit up in that start. We faded Luis Heel yesterday, and he was vulnerable yet again. That was in my head, and I thought that with what Giants are doing to lefties, that Shota should be faded. I agree there's concern with the bullpen usage for the Giants, which makes me hesitant. We heard from Nutflush about Jordan Hicks's issues with his diabetes, needing to get the glucose or shots or whatever it is during the game. I think that would be easier to handle at home. And I legitimately looked at simply what the Giants are doing lefties and Cubs doing the righties, and Shota being vulnerable, and thought that the Giants should be bet here. Now, one of the things that has not worked for me in MLB in my career is trusting gut instinct or simple statistics that I don't dive deeper into, or where I don't sit and get deeper into games. I think, a phenomenal comment here is Morgan Spooner's here. Shota has a fastball that says between 89 and 92. This is the perfect park for him to toss meatballs and let outfielders catch fly balls.
Mm-hmm.
If you watched the game yesterday, I watched the entire game. How many of the Giants outs were at the warning track? Over 10. There were 10, at least 10 at the warning track. I mean, that's an interesting point from Morgan, and all told, even though I think that Jordan Hicks should be fine here at home. I know he's coming off 5 earned runs over 4 innings at the Cardinals. I just don't fear this Cubbies lineup. With it all said and done, if this was flipped, if the market was 37% of tickets on the Giants and 9% of cash on the Giants, I'd be on the Giants. But it's not. The main group of the cappers in the world are seeing sort of the same thing I'm seeing, and yet the books are showing no fear. As you see and said, there's a line move at Bet Online towards the San Francisco Giants, towards the Chicago Cubs. There's no line move towards the Cubs at Pinnacle, but it still scares me that there's no line move towards the Giants at Pinnacle. So when it's all said and done, now JPZ says Smiley not available will be a plus for the Cubs, and BJ says Cub spot in his opinion. I'm going to stay off. By the way, Kong's Clips at 1,001. Zach Eady for Rookie of the Year from our guy Kong's Clips. Copy and paste that. I love 1,001. I love it. So that just takes me off of it. So then you would think, well, if we're thinking that before Morgan Spooner's comment, which I think is really salient, that if we're thinking that Shota's vulnerable, Hicks is vulnerable, the Giants bullpen is vulnerable, the Giants smash lefties, then why wouldn't it go over? 99% of the tickets and the cash are thinking the exact same thing as everyone else. So then why in the world did it go from 7.5 up to 8 and back to 7.5? So then they're saying, well, Shota's going to pitch well here, sort of under what Morgan was talking about. Hicks is going to pitch better here. But I don't want the under, so I can't bet this game. Sorry for having such a long soliloquy when I don't have no action. But there's not enough of an edge or an angle for me to bet. So I am off this. Is there anything? Billy Friedrich said it should also be warmer during the day. So does that help or make Hicks' medical condition more serious? I don't know. Reginald says he should attack the total here rather than sides. Professor Chris says his model is Giants minus 140, run line plus 135. So he bet both the minus 105 and 200. And TJ says be careful of recency bias against Shota. Easy to remember him getting blown up to justify it. But TJ, we did the same thing against Luis Heel. The same thing. Hot lineup. Luis Hill's going to be questioning himself. I mean, I hear what you're saying. And TJ says Shota shoves. And there's my guy, Ski Profit, in the house.
Took up residence.
I got the Ski Life shirt on as well. Rocking the Ski Life shirt. I don't know if you sell these Ski Life shirts, but I think they would sell like hotcakes, man. I think they would fly off the shelf. Shout out to Ski Profit. So I'm off of this spot, 3:45 p.m. Jose, are you moving on it?
No, I'm off. I think Joe T had the best bet, as someone said. A team total over for the Giants would probably be my look, but no much.
All right, so we have cappers on either side of the fence in that second afternoon spot. Jose, let's roll on. Guaranteed rate field, Chicago, Illinois. Our next spot, Braves 44-34, 20-21 on the road at the White Sox, 21-61, 13-28 at home. We have our old friend Chad Kuhl back in Major League Baseball. You guys know that I tend to romanticize these older veterans earning their self an opportunity to pitch back in the major leagues. The same can be said about Chad Kuhl, a pitcher that I backed a few times at home in Pittsburgh, not to great success. We love Chad Kuhl, the Sasquatch, baby, the Sasquatch back in the majors. Now, you wouldn't think it'd be too hard to break with the big club if your big club is the Chicago White Sox, yet he did not. He was in AAA Charlotte, and he was pretty good. He had 11 starts, twice came out of the bullpen, 4.34 ERA, a 1.5 whip. So what was the problem? Well, he struck out 42 and he walked 33. I mean, that's horrific. Not so horrific that you don't get an opportunity to be a long relief specialist in the White Sox dugout or bullpen. And he looked great in his last long relief stint. But an important thing here is that he just pitched on June 23rd, 4 1/3 in that 11-2 loss at the Tigers. So he's not going to go deep in this game. This could be 2 innings, 2.5 innings. Do you agree that this is just a 2.5 innings bullpen day for the White Sox?
Yeah, I was just looking at his shit. He went 4 1/3 last time out, so he definitely might go longer. I mean, he has the potential, but obviously depends on how long he goes. But I expect 3-4 innings. Yeah.
Would you be shocked when you heard that the White Sox are hitting lefties much harder than the Braves are hitting righties since June 1st?
I wouldn't, because I fucking do this every day, but the normal person would. Yeah.
255, 727 OPS for the White Sox versus lefties. They're hitting them. They are hitting lefties. Chris Sale is on the hill for the Atlanta Braves, and he is being excellent. Let's take a look at the weather here in this one. I believe, Kelly McInnes, you said that the wind was blowing in that Cubs-Giants game. It's 7 miles out to left at first pitch, and it gets up to 10.9 out to right field, but it swirls there, so it doesn't make much of a difference. Here in Chicago, we have 10.1 miles per hour right to left across the diamond, between 9.5 and 10.1 throughout the entire game. There's my guy BT out. Okay, my bad. BT in the house. Great to see you. Let's get into the line history for this spot here. We have the minus 300 fade, flirting with the minus 300 fade in these next 2 games. The Braves opened up at minus 300. The Braves got up to minus 332 at 9:30 this morning, and they're now at minus 287. That's a huge move towards the White Sox.
They're scared. They know. They know.
There was a 27-cent move to the Chicago White Sox 15 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
From a total side of things here, we have it sitting at an 8. This opened up at an 8, dropped 7.5. Every time it would drop 7.5, it would come back to 8. It's still at 8 right now. There's actually been no movement because this opened up juice to the under at minus 116. Now it's just minus 115. There's been no change. And then when we get to the cash flow in this one, you have 93% of tickets, 89% of cash on the Braves. And on the total, you have 99 and 99 on the over. Ron Crawford, White Sox plus 1.5 is a spot. Yes, we are moving on the Twins, Clark Edge. Moving on the Twins. So here we go. Nate Dogg looking at Chicago first 5. Billy Friedrich says this is essentially a bullpen day for the White Sox. He would ladder the Braves. Jose, and we did touch on the White Sox bullpen pitching better. Now, look, is a 5.31 ERA and a 1.52 whip since June 1st good? No, but it's better. And the Braves bullpen's been excellent. Take it away, Jose. Floor is yours. You're muted, my man.
Great. It's obviously a tough game for me to start off here because obviously it opens up at minus 300 and then the whole show, like it goes up to minus 315 for me and then plummets right back down to minus 285. So I'm like, okay, do I still bet it? Like those are the, kind of parameters that I sit here. I'm like, do I still go? Chad Kuhl has been, I don't know. It's fine, I guess. If you combine all his totals, it's 8 innings, 6 earned runs. So that's not ideal. But his last time against Chicago or against Detroit, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, not bad at all. 1 shutout inning against Houston, and then 2 2/3, 4 earned runs against Arizona. Kind of soils all that. Now just his first appearance, so I don't hate that. Chris Sale going against former squad. Make of that what you will. The main issue for me not backing the White Sox, sure, they've been hitting them pretty well, 105 weighted runs created plus this month. But if you go back to the 22nd, for example, so this is the split from the 1st to the 22nd of this month, they're hitting 124 weighted runs created plus against lefties. And then, if you update it again to today, you can see how much that has plummeted. 105 now, so that's a little worrisome. It's like they started off super hot against them, and now they're tailing off a bit. So that's the main concern for me, honestly. I do typically like bullpen days, the shitty bullpens even, but I've gone back and forth. I think this might be a White Sox spot, but I don't know if I'll get there.
TJ says I wouldn't put a lot of stock in cash tickets. This game was off the board until an hour ago when Cool was announced. That's interesting because 365 had this, it's been available for a long time. And Cool, like I was studying Cool last night. So
Ramon has a good point here as well. This is a 1-game situation as well. I forgot about this. This is a makeup game. Atlanta's come here and then going to St. Louis, coming from St. Louis, plays here, and then they play at home tomorrow. So that's interesting. Honestly, Ramon, that is interesting that this is one of those spots where the Braves have to, play this game and then get back home here. So that does make me more interested in the White Sox, honestly.
Yeah. But, TJ is right with this line not being available at most books until recently. I guess I can understand Mikey here loving the first 5 under 4.5. I mean, I imagine that Sale will be good. Billy Friedrich says, fade the Braves tomorrow at home versus Pitt. So I mentioned this yesterday and today. Maybe I need a... Billy... Okay. TJ says, how did Sale not go over 7.5 Ks? And Jesse Nunez looking at Ozzie Albies over 1.5 bases. Jerry Davis says this might be a White Sox spot because the Braves have no bullpen left, really. And that was something that Billy Friedrich talked about with the.
I don't know. I don't trust Chris Sale to go deep. Honestly, I don't. And, I would guess, because Mikey Money said they pushed back his start, never a good thing. I would guess that it's just, a little fatigue and you push him back and he's fine. This happened with the Red Sox this year. Cutter Crawford is the main example that everyone's talked about. He pushed his start back a day and then just seemed better, more refreshed. So in the ideal world, that's probably what is happening to Sale here. In the shirt world for Sale, he's a little sore, banged up, and we fade him here. And I agree with you, Billy. It's just like me trusting Sale to pitch deep in this ball game is a little sketchy for me. And I'm the guy that was telling people, like, yeah, look at these bullpen usages. If you just look at them, and and you can see like, oh, this guy's down, this guy's down, this guy's down. You can probably see. And by the way, to be specific, Grant Holmes, 39 pitches yesterday, not going to throw. Dylan Lee threw 22 yesterday, hasn't thrown in a while since then. I expect him to be available, but, it's still dicey. Pierce Johnson, 18, threw 11 on Sunday. Again, back and forth, should be available, but, maybe not his best. Aaron Bummer isn't going to be available. Rafael Iglesias threw 17 yesterday. Joe Jimenez, as some people say, threw 12 yesterday, so he'll be available. And Jesse Chavez will also be available. So Jesse Chavez, Joe, I expect Iglesias to be available in the off chance this is a close game. Bummer and the Diaspol Hernandez are all available there. So they've got bodies. They're not good, but they've got bodies. All this to say, I'll move on the White Sox. I'll go down with the ship. They've been my team this year that I've been just betting into oblivion, and some people might not enjoy that, but I believe in taking these big dogs and letting it ride here. So plus 250 full game for me, and first 5. And yeah, I'm doubling up as well because it is very minus 300 fade-esque here. So first 5 full game, plus 250, plus 240.
Plus 240 is the first 5?
Yeah.
And, the White Sox plus 2.5 is minus 115 at Bet 365, plus 250. We have Your Grandma is Wearing Your Sister's Panties Again play of the day. Now, I remind you, this is a work in progress.
A little blurry, too.
We're going to build on this. We're just getting started here. We are going to build on this.
I could easily see that being Mike's grandma, and that be a gift that Mike gave his grandmother.
We are on our way building with this. We also want you to know that although some of these older women are, so what's the right word? Appealing. We're not just going to throw out the same women over and over again. Now, I know the last couple of women have been so appealing that we use them for a few too many days, but just to give you an idea that we're not just going to stick here with the same beautiful women over and over again. Let's give you a couple shots here of how we're going to switch up the game.
She's definitely British.
Oh, she parties, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
she drinks at like 2 p.m.
She's six drinks in. She's 6 drinks in for sure. So that's just a little taste. Now we got more. Kelly doesn't like this. Okay, here. There we go, Kelly. That's for you.
Kelly, does that not interest you, Kelly?
Maybe we'll get you a little more interest on that one. But we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it fresh for you guys. Okay. Not a lot of love from the chat for these. So why don't we just move on? We'll just move on. Hard to move on. But hard is probably the perfect word to use in this one. Wow. She is high on MDMA for sure. Sure. Yes, of course, Markel. Of course. I was looking. The thing about black old women is they don't look old.
Yeah, no, Markel, black don't crack, dog. Come on.
I did go through a search and I was like, she's not old. And they're like, she's 60. I'm like, well, it doesn't look 60 to me. So we're working on that. We are working on that. We promise you that we are working on that. Okay, let's get back to work here for this next spot on the board. We have Jose. Too Legit says that she had 6 fingers. Let's get back.
Again. Some of these might be AI generated.
6 fingers? Jesus. Oh, Too Legit. No one saw Too Legit's comment. Sorry. Wow. 6 fingers. Okay. Wow. Okay.
They might be sometimes. So hand up. You guys caught me.
Oh man. Okay. We'll keep working on this. We will keep working
God.
on this. Okay, next up we have a best bet, back-to-back best bets for our next capper. I'd love to hear his take on Jose doubling up on the Chicago White Sox, which correlates with the Grandma's wearing her sister's panties again. Play of the day.
It's just so funny that Joey just, what's up with her hands? Why were you looking at her hands?
Oh, bitch had 6 fingers. Let's welcome up from Dallas, Texas, star of Medicaid Mondays. Please welcome the Magic Man, Mr. Dabra Cadabra, to the show. Dabby, how are you? Aroused?
Oh man, I was good until a few minutes ago when you started showing those pictures.
He was aroused, and then
yeah. All right. Well, we got
you guys know, 6 fingers is like a telltale sign of AI. Like it happens all the time. Anytime AI creates something, it gives them 6 fingers.
Yeah, apparently if they're not very good with hands, but that's not the point in these. You know, Jimmy, you know what I just heard?
What's that?
Cab was very interested, extremely interested, and then in some point in the last 5 minutes, there were no interest at all.
No, see, I don't think that was the case. I think there was no interest at all from the beginning. I think from reading his body language here, I don't think there was any interest whatsoever. But all we can do here is promise you that there's more to come. There is more to come. Let's go, Dabra Cadabra. We got back-to-back action for the 6 fingers. Back-to-back action here from Daby Cab. Now, we've already heard from Morgan Spooner. He's on Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's the Pissy Cheerios play of the day. Von Polo moved on Brandon Marsh. Total bases over 1.5. Let's talk about this spot. Trevor Rogers going up against Zach Wheeler. Let's start with the weather in Philadelphia. 87 Fahrenheit, 8.4 miles per hour left to right across the diamond. Dies down to 6.2. Weather, not a big deal. Let's get into the line history here for this one. We'll start with the total. This total is sitting at 8 at a pick'em. 8 at a pick'em. This opened up at 7.5. And I think we should touch on the first 5 total as well in this one. Let's go over there. First 5 total in this one is a 4.5 juice to the under. This opened up 4.5 minus 114 to the under, and the over started getting hammered. I'm surprised that it's minus 109 now, because when I stopped really paying attention to it, this was a plus 103 to the under 4.5. So there's been buyback on the first 5 under. I didn't think that was going to be the story once we moved there. Let's get on to the money line here. The money line in this one, we have the Philadelphia Phillies and Zach Wheeler at minus 287. This is another spot that got hammered up to minus 315. It was minus 315 at 8:44 this morning and has come back to 287. Still 16 cents of movement towards Zach Wheeler in the Philadelphia Phillies. Let's take a look at the cash flow. From a cash flow standpoint here, we have 99% of the tickets and 99% of cash on the over. Now, that's going to be a constant throughout the show today. And Jose talked about that off the top, just like Braves, White Sox, just like Cubs, Giants, and just like Twins, Diamondbacks. So to give you guys just a refresher, 96 and 96 in Twins, Diamondbacks, 98 and 97 in Cubs, Giants, 99 and 98 in Braves, White Sox. And this is 99 and 99 on the over. And it did move up a half run. Trevor Rogers' last start, 3-2 extra inning win at home versus the Mariners, was nice. He's had 3 straight good starts. He went 6 in the 30, allowed 2 earned runs, 5 Ks and 1 walk. He's been better. Now, he struggled mightily off the beginning of the year, so his numbers are skewed. His numbers are poor. Maybe you think he's just a bad pitcher. If you do, then it works perfectly. We have Rogers on the road, 1-4, 4.75 ERA, just 20 strikeouts over 30 in the third with a 287 opponent's batting average. Zach Wheeler is rolling. 2.73 ERA, 0.96 whip on the season. He is coming off a beautiful start at home versus the Diamondbacks. Now he's got consecutive starts. He also has been lights out at home. 6-2, 1.66 ERA. Opponents hitting 162 off of him. And the Marlins don't hit righties at all. 211, 577. The Phillies do rake lefties. 254, 768 OPS. Marlins bullpen has been better. The Phillies bullpen has been excellent. TJ says Marlins last 30 games, 30th in weighted runs created, 30th in OPS, 30th in WOBA. Last 30 on the road, same rankings. Daby Cab, your first best bet on the card. Take it away.
You know, I don't think Rogers is a bad pitcher, but I definitely don't think he's a good pitcher either. I mean, I just think he's like middle of the road average. I think he's a 4.3 ERA guy, and you know that's about where he's at on his career, and that's about what I think that he is. But if you look into his numbers here against the Phillies, you know he's got a lot of history with them, going back all the way to 2020. He's 1-6 with a 6.99 ERA. 50 strikeouts and 10 appearances against Philly in his career. So obviously a 6.99 ERA is not good. And if you look even further into these numbers, back in 2021, Trevor Rogers on 5/19/2021 threw against the Phillies. He went 7 2/3 and only gave up 1 run. Back on 5/24/2021, so it was almost back-to-back starts against Philly right there. He went 5 innings and only gave up 1 run. So what I'm saying is those 2 starts back in 2021, he only gave up 1 run. You take out those 2 starts against him, and the Phillies have been absolutely destroying Rogers over the last few years. And that plays right into this year also. If you look, last time he went against them, you know, he went, 3 1/3, so he didn't even make it out of the 4th inning. 3 1/3, he gave up 9 hits. Make sure I say this correctly. He gave up 9. Oh, shit, these numbers are hard to follow up. Sorry. 5 runs on 9 hits. Am I saying that wrong? Yeah, 5 runs on 9 hits. There we go. Now it does say, you know, there were a couple errors, but still 9 hits in 3 1/3 innings is just, you know, they're seeing the baseball against him. There's no other way to put it. The Phillies hit Rogers. And we look into these teams too. You know, you talk about Wheeler. He's been magnificent this season, and he's even better at home. You know, he's got a 2.73 ERA on the season. And then you come, you know, look at his home ERA, it's under a 2. So he's just been absolutely dominant. And I don't expect anything else out of Wheeler here. I bet this game last night, Jimmy, and I messed up by not tweeting it out. But the good news is I made another bet on it today that you guys can get. I took the run line at -120 last night. That's not available anymore. But what I took today was the team total over
Full
4.5. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I took the full game last night. Well, the first 5, I mean, you can't. You're gonna have to lay 1.
No,
I
mean the run line. Sorry, I should have been specific. I mean the run line. Was that a full game run line? You know, team totals obviously, I guess, full game. But yeah, I was curious about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I took the team total 4.5 today, and I like it. Like I said, they've been destroying Rogers. I don't see any reason why they stop here. And in their last 6 games, you know, on the season, they're hitting 254 against lefties. They're hitting just over 300 in their last 6 games. So their numbers are even hotter lately than they have been on the season.
So are you adding a second spot to the run line?
No. For the show, give me the team total over 4.5 -120, because I'm not going to give out a line that people can't get.
I mean, it's not like -130 is sitting at 365, and I can guarantee you'll get a better one here. -126 at Pinnacle. So I mean, the difference is less than a dime.
This is an interesting situation here. All right. Yeah, just give me the run line then. Give me that run line at 126.
Okay, -1.5, -126, and the team total over 4.5.
Yeah, I'll take them both.
Let me just see what it is here. If you haven't tweeted out the team total,
I did tweet that out.
Okay, good, because that's flying. That's at -137 at Pinnacle.
Nice.
Wow, that's flying. It's I guess because it went from 7.5 to 8, but that's flying. The team total. Oh, sorry. Here, let me get this team total. Here is at -140 at 365, -137. Robert Franklin got Philly run line last night, -125. TJ Marlins team total under 2.5 at even money, and Philadelphia -1.5 is on his card there. Jose, take it away.
The Oilers and Ken Holland have broken up.
Yeah, I read that. It's a funny time for him. I guess he just feels like his job is done. He got them all the way, and they'll just be...
What a fucking loser. I got him there. That's all I can do.
There's got to be more to the story. I'm looking forward to get into it. But yeah, I saw that Holland had bounced.
So there you go. There's some sort of breaking news there. No action for me. I can't believe that these lines are the same. White Sox, Braves, and Marlins, Phillies. I cannot believe that. This Phillies team should be like I think this should be like a minus 350 spot. So no action here for me. I don't trust Trevor Rogers. I don't want to back the Marlins offense. But shout out to Balazzo yesterday for cashing the under for us. We love that. So no action for me though.
No action here. True Teller looking at the first 5 under as well. I thought that here. I thought about that first 5 under 4.5 as well, and I didn't get there. Nice to see you, Kelsey.
Jay Peasy said Trevor Rogers doesn't even remember those 2021 games. The only reason I brought that up, because I don't look at stuff like that. The only reason I brought that up is because if you take those out, his ERA is way over a 6.99 against the Phillies, which is just terrible.
The money line difference for the Braves compared to the Phillies is 20 cents. If that's the case, why in the world would the Braves run line be minus 200 and the Phillies run line be minus 130? Both totals are at 8, and that Braves White Sox is juiced heavier to the under.
Yeah, I don't get that.
And that's wild. I mean, basically, what I would take to it. Shout out to George Wood. George Wood, a new member. Oh, and he's a gold member. He's racing. He is racing today. Our guy, George Wood. Why in the world would the books offer the one? Now, I see Troy saying that number is light. TJ's already bet it at minus 1.5, minus 123. It's perplexing why a book would have a 70-cent difference from one team's run line to the others when the money line is similar.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's very confusing. And I definitely thought in my head, like, if I took all 4, first 5 full game against these super big favorites, and I just hit, I just need to hit 1 to make half my money back, 2 to officially go up. I thought about it, but I just don't trust the Marlins at the end of the day.
So, TJ says the run line makes perfect sense. They're on the road, the 8 at bats to 9 at bats, 70 cents difference. I think that's an alarming amount.
You always say it's built into the line, though, Jimmy, and that's whether it's home or away, and that would be 70 cents is a lot, but I do agree
it's a huge amount, like 30 cents to 40 cents. Like I like taking the home team on the minus 1 line. 70 cents is. But TJ says it makes perfect sense. I'll move past it. You guys, Cab on Philly minus 1.5, minus 126. TJ on minus 1.5, minus 126. I just 70 cents for 1 at bat. I don't think that mathematically makes sense. But if you guys do, that's all good. All right, let's roll on to the next spot on the board. 6:35 p.m. Eastern. We have the Texas Rangers 37-43, 17-24 on the road at Baltimore Orioles, 50-30, 26-16 at home. We're at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's take a look at the weather in Baltimore. 89 Fahrenheit, 9.5 miles per hour left to right, and slightly in, dies down to 7.3 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history here for this Gray versus Burns start. We've seen a big move back to Texas, and I was shocked at the minus 200. This got up to minus 207 at Pinnacle. I thought clearly, with the way the Baltimore Orioles are hitting righties, 285, 892 OPS, compared to what the Rangers are doing versus righties, 207, 565 OPS, that the Orioles, that is such a huge difference. And if you add the bullpen, even the Rangers bullpen's been looking better of late, that the Orioles were a must-bet situation, after getting off the schneid and getting that win. But I did not think minus 200 against John Gray coming off a great start. Not allowing a run over 6 innings against the Royals. He's been lights out on the road. Now it's only 28 2/3 sample size. Corbin Burns getting touched up at the Astros. Now Corbin Burns has been so good at home, so it felt like a nice bounce back spot for Corbin Burns. But I was still astonished that this line. So I was expecting this buyback, and the buyback has come. The Orioles right now minus 185. They opened up at minus 197, so that's just 12 cents of movement away from them. When we get to the total in this one, this total is sitting at 7.5, minus 109 to the over. This opened up at 8 and has dropped to 7.5. That makes sense to me. It didn't drop to 7.5 until 9 this morning. But that makes sense to me. Let's just take a quick look at what it is first 5. first 5. If we expect Grey Wolf to be able to slow down these bats that aren't really raking right now. This opened up at 4.5 at 9:41 p.m. last night. Then it moved to 4. Moved to 4 like 2 hours, 18 minutes later, and this got juiced up to minus 120, 119. It's pretty close to that high watermark. Let's get into the cash flow here. We have 99% of tickets, 99% cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 91% of tickets and 83% cash on the Orioles. Yeah, Kelsey, I'm on the Elks +8 in that one tonight. I loved it. If it stayed at 6, I'd be so confident right now, but it has come back to 7 or 7.5. Take it away, Dabra Kadabra. Troy says Rangers bats are fucking dead. What do you have to say about this spot, Dabby? Best bet number 2.
So I tell you what, the sentiment is here in the area now. For the first time, they've started talking on the local talk shows and stuff about, the Rangers being sellers because, let's be honest, the Rangers have to fucking sell this season. They're not going to do anything. So they're talking about getting rid of Eovaldi, which, you hate to hear it. Yeah. Jose lit up when I said, I knew you'd light up when I said that. They're talking about the possibility of Eovaldi getting traded because, this is it for his contract. So things are not going to start looking better for the Rangers. Anybody who's actually listened to me, I find my places to bet this team, but anybody who's listened, I've said it all year. They're fucked. I've said it since the beginning. They're not going to bounce back from this. The Astros are the team that I think comes back and wins the division. John Gray, he was great his last start against Kansas City. He went 6 2/3 innings, I think. No, just 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs. But his 3 starts before that against San Francisco, the Dodgers, and the Mets, he didn't make it out of the 3rd inning. He went 2 1/3 against San Francisco. He went 3 against the Dodgers, and he went 3 against the Mets. And the Mets, he gave up 11 hits in just 3 innings, 9 runs. That is brutal. So where I was looking at this is I was really looking at taking the Orioles in the first 5. This I have not actually pulled the trigger on yet, Jimmy, but I just think the Orioles are in a better position here. I like them full game run line, but I think I'd prefer them first 5 just because Gray's struggling getting through 5 innings. Anytime you have a pitcher that is struggling getting through 5 innings, I think there's value looking at the other side. And as soon as you get into this Rangers bullpen, they're 26 in MLB. I mean, this bullpen sucks. They're not good. So if Gray's only going to give you 3 to 5 innings, that means you're getting another 4 or 5 innings with this terrible bullpen. So you could look at an Orioles team total. You could look at player props with the Orioles. I just think this is Orioles all the way. And when I decide how I'm going to bet this, I'll post it. Shout out to our guy Rocco Rogers saying Keuchel gave up 5 runs. Yeah, if you didn't notice, Dallas Keuchel came back yesterday. The team total was 4.5, so he continues to cash it. When Keuchel's in the game, take the other team's team total.
Yeah, I hear that. BJ bullish on the Orioles as well. Clark Edge talking to me like I'm a fucking child. Look, I understand the extra at bat. I'm just saying it's not worth 70 cents. If you compare the pick'ems, there's not many spots on the board here that have the same line, but these 2 favorites have the same line with 70 cents different. The same line in the Giants and the Twins games, same line. The road teams run line we're talking 20 cents of difference, 20 cents of difference. So you see 20, 30 cents of difference. 70 cents of difference is, why else would everybody be hammering that minus 1.5 and staying away from the other ones? Because they think it's a short line. That's all I'm saying. I don't think it's 70 cents worth. But take it away, Daby Cab. Take it away, Jose, Rangers, Orioles.
I'm off this game as well. I kind of thought Daby would be on a first 5 over here, thinking maybe the Rangers offense can show something. But no, I'm off as well. Corbin Burns is good enough to shut these guys down. And I was pretty surprised at the minus 200 as well. I think honestly value is on the Rangers, but maybe I'm just thinking about last year's Rangers offense, and I haven't seen enough of this year's shitty offense. So, but I've stayed off though. It was a pretty easy pass for me. I was shocked to see the line.
Why do you not have interest in the under? It's because of the home runs that have been hit against the Gray Wolf by this Orioles lineup. Henderson has one, Mateo has one, Mullins has one, Rutschman has one. Is that the reason? Because he does get a lot of these guys. He shuts a lot of these guys down, important pieces to this lineup. Why 99% of the tickets are on the under. This one's dropped a half front.
Yeah, the first one, I believe as well. The first game we've already talked about did drop too. I don't like moving on those first fives. You know, I've had not success with those first five totals this year so far. So I'd be trying to think of full game movements for the total, and the Rangers off or bullpen, excuse me, just is too bad. And I think the Orioles could score a few runs off of them and fuck us in the end. So that's why I stayed off the unders there. And you're right, by the way, those home runs, they're all one home run. So it's not like it's continued repeated success. But Adley, Cedric, Gunnar, Jorge Mateo all have a home run off of him. And Adley, 667 with a 1.9 OPS against him.
So Dabber, Kadabra, your official action is what?
For just the two bets on the Phillies right now, I want to decide if I'm going to take the Orioles first five or full game. I just want to look at it a little more. I am going to bet them though, but I want to say this: live betting opportunities have been gold, especially in the Rangers games against Milwaukee. They got ahead all three games. The total was down to like 7.5 or 6.5 on the live line, and then the Rangers bullpen comes in and gives up a grand slam 2 out of 3 games. I mean, it's literally like if the Rangers are starting the game pitching well, take the live over or take the other team if the Rangers are winning, and you're going to make money.
Do you not feel, Jose, like this bullpen is being quite improved for the Texas Rangers?
Let's see here. They're from, I guess from the 16th to the 27th, and I kind of am starting to enjoy the smaller sample size for bullpens because I like seeing what they're doing, like, I guess, immediately. They have a 4.24 ERA, which is 18th. It's not, I guess, horrible. Like, it's better than the Astros. And their FIP is a 3.74. So you expect it to be a little better, but there's just not one name that I really believe in.
That's what I was about to. Who are you going to trust? Arena? You're going to trust Latz? You're going to trust
like Jose Leclerc? Leclerc, I should say, is probably the best reliever they've gotten. He'll be available. Hasn't thrown since Monday, and he threw 6 pitches on Monday. So, guys we were expecting to see, Dane Dunning, we'll probably see Leclerc. Dave Robertson threw 13 pitches yesterday. He'll be available. The Yates from hell threw 19 yesterday. He'll be available. Jacob Latz, who threw 5 yesterday. He'll be available. So the full bullpen, besides Brock Burke, Dane Dunning, and I assume Jonathan Hernandez will be available. But it's still, I don't trust, Arena. I don't trust Clark and Robinson either, and they're the best arms they've got. So
so what you just said, when Jose Leclerc is one of your better arms in the bullpen, you got a problem.
And he won you guys a World Series.
You got a problem.
I think the first 5 under 4 is extremely appealing here. I think I may move on that. Ron Crawford, the lines have covered 7 straight against the Elks, so I think you're probably in good company here. I like the first 5 under 4. I kind of like the full game under, but I don't think I need to bet on it. Yeah, it's warm. I think these pitchers can handle it. I do. We'll see if that's. I mean, I really do. The Gray Wolf is pitching very well right now. But Daby Cab has not moved on the O's yet. BJ confident on the O's, and others in the chat as well. And I'm on the first 5. Well, not yet. I'm very, very interested in the first 5 under 4. It's just whether or not I will pay the juice here in this one. Dabra Kadabra, excellent work, my friend. Dabby's moved on 2 best bets. Phillies -1.5, -126, and the team total over 4.5 at -120. Thank you, Daby Cab, my man. Daby Cab will be here tomorrow. Also, he is co-hosting Saturday Say Hey Plays a Day with Jose Bouquett. Daby Cab, any last words for the Cappers here supporting the show?
Oh, yeah, man. Let's get that money today, guys. Phillies have been good to me. I'm going to come on tomorrow, Jimmy. We're going to be 19-2 with Phillies bets. So I'm not going to say the other side because we're just going to win them. So 19-2 on Phillies bets when we come in, and we'll get rolling. So love you guys. Love capping with y'all. Let's get some money.
There he is, Dabra Cadabra. We move on to the next spot on the board, and we arrive here at the Stacks play of the day. New York Yankees over 4.5 at even money.
Stacks, 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 stacks.
Stacks in the house here.
We also have ribeye.
I saw that. We also have the ribeye play of the day. God, is he being our best hit? I mean, Vladdy's heating up, but IKF here for the Stacks play of the day. Isaiah Kiner Falefa at plus 245. We are 4-0 since we created the graphic. Let's talk about the spot here at the Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. Carlos Rodon, 9-4, 3.86 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 84 Ks over 88 and 2/3, 25 walks, and 14 jacks. He's not been very good. Coming off getting lit up and smoked at home versus Atlanta. 3 and 2/3, 8 runs, 7 of which were earned. He allowed 3 jacks. He did not look good. On the road, he's been okay. 3.86 ERA, 245 opponent's batting average. And again, we talked about it off the top. The Blue Jays are falling apart against lefties. Falling apart. 184, 510 OPS, the worst in the league versus lefties since June 1st. And the Yankees aren't hitting righties too much. 238, 741 OPS. When I see this Yankees lineup, now I know they have a spectacular record. I know that Stanton is not in the lineup, but there are 2 batters that you got to get through. That is it.
That's what everyone's starting to realize, it seems.
It just, I know that they're going to make additions, but all you have to worry about is Soto and Judge. That is it. It's a weak group behind those 2 guys right now. And can Barrios handle it? 6-6, 3.43 ERA, 1.13 WHIP. He just had those starts against the Guardians. We know the Guardians are very good, putting everything in play. They got 3 jacks off Jose. They got 5 earned runs overall. At home, Barrios has been great this year. 234 opponent's batting average, 2.36 ERA. Both bullpens have been very bad, especially the Yankees bullpen since June 1st, 5.07 ERA, 1.54 WHIP. The Yankees were playing late into the evening, getting beaten up by the New York Mets yesterday. But we've seen teams lacking rest deliver nonstop all season long, which is absolutely wild. We've also seen the books say that to us, that these teams that we think are in tough travel situations continue to deliver. 69 Fahrenheit roof will be open. It starts off the wind's left to right, but then the wind is just coming in. 8.7 in and 7.8 in. Let's get to the line history here for this and the cash flow. From a line history standpoint, we got the first 5 up. That 4.5 is minus 110 to the under. It opened up minus 117 to the under. So we had to move to the over on the first 5. On the full game here, we are sitting here with an 8.5 minus 114 to the over. This opened up at 8. It moved to 8.5 after about 4 hours, back to 8. And now we're at 8.5. And that 8.5 is juiced to the over. So we've had a pretty legitimate move towards the over. And then when we get to the cash flow here for this one, we have 78% of tickets and 92% of the cash on the New York Yankees. 78 and 92 to the New York Yankees. Let's see what the money line movement has been towards them. They're sitting at minus 132 right now. They opened up minus 131. No movement there with 78% of cash, 78% of tickets, 92% of cash. And on the total, you have 96% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. Take it away for us, Jose. A very interesting one. Yankees at Blue Jays.
Yeah, this is the spot where if Carlos Rodon does not pitch well, throw up all your red flags here for Yankees fans. And Jimmy, you've heard me say 100 times at this point that Phillies was my World Series before the season. I feel great about about the Phillies. The Yankees part of it is now the one that's like, I don't know. Honestly, Jim, and I'll be a little selfish here. I'm begging for the Red Sox to be the 6th seed in the wild card this year. Begging, because if they are the 6th seed in the wild card, they'll play whoever the 3 seed is, which is the Seattle Mariners. I'll be okay with playing the Seattle Mariners, and then they play the Yankees after that. I would love to play both those teams to get to the ALCS, but I just don't know. The Yankees are offensively Judge and Soto, and then from then it's like you got Glaber, who doesn't really do much, if I'm going to be honest. And Mike Stanton, when he's there, he's okay. He'll strike out a shitload, but I at the end of the day, this was the under that I was looking at the most today. Between Barrios, who, I saw the numbers. He gets crushed by the Yankees here historically, which is not ideal. But I think this could be a good spot for him. But it was Yankees for me, maybe an under, because I just don't trust this. Obviously, they don't trust the Rays or the Jays lineup against lefties is the big thing here. So I just couldn't get there, I guess, either side, and I just wanted to hear what everyone else had to think. And you said it, the total, by the way, it is 8.5, but it started at 8.5 at -125, and now it is -123 to the over 8.5 here with, again, all that money on the over. I guess it's reacting, but I've gone back and forth, and I don't know what to think. So
I would like to back the Jays. The market's telling me to back the Jays. I don't trust the Yankees aren't playing well. I would love to do it. But I find it extremely difficult with the way Blue Jays are hitting lefties to expect them to deliver here. And I'm not going to. I don't want to sit through a game like that waiting for them to hit lefties. It's just, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I won't do it. And Barrios, like Pedro, Yankees might be his daddy. I just can't. I can't do it. Not appealing to me here in this one. Jose, you are off the spot.
Yep.
Stacks play of the day is the Yankees team total over 4.5 at even money. Let's move on to 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Cincinnati Reds 37-43, 17-20 on the road at the St. Louis Cardinals 41-38. 22-16 at home. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri. We have Andrew Abbott going up against Miles Michaelis here. This is not looking good here for my first quarter action, falling apart with the Wings and Lynx. Not good. Ugh. And now the Wings are going to the line. Not fucking good. Not the way I wanted to start the day. Okay, here we go. Andrew Abbott, the lefty, going up against Miles Michaelis. Miles Michaelis coming off a 9-4 win at home over the Giants. 6 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 Ks, and 2 walks. At home, he is being barreled on occasion. 4.81 ERA, 245 opponent's batting average, 30 Ks, and 8 walks. The Cards are not hitting lefties at all. This is a pretty nice opportunity for Andrew Abbott. Cards versus lefties, 226 with a 568 OPS. While the Reds versus righties, 240, 712 OPS. Both bullpens have been very, very good over the last little while. Let's take a look at the weather at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. We have 88 Fahrenheit, 6.2 miles per hour in, stays right around that number, 6.2 miles per hour in. Let's get into the cash flow for this spot. On the money line, we have the Cardinals sitting at -138, opening up -131. We have a 7-cent move towards the St. Louis Cardinals. And that wasn't the case as well. This had moved initially towards the Reds. This got down to -122 for the Cards on numerous occasions. And now we're sitting here with the 7-cent move to the Cardinals. Let's get to the total in this one. This total is sitting right now at 7.5. So we have the full run move to the under, Jose, something where you've been hammering overs. So a full run move to the over. take a look at the cash flow with this huge move to the over. From a cash flow perspective here, we have 96% of tickets, 93% of cash on the over. And we have 84% of tickets and 76% cash on the St. Louis Cardinals. Take it away for us here, Jose. Reds Cardinals.
Yeah, it continues to be my least favorite betting trend that I have bet semi-consistently now. And I asked Mike for the data on the opposite way as well. So, Mike, whenever you get that, let me know. Because I'm curious to see if the line, because, obviously, if for those who are uninformed, if the line moves a full run down, you just bet the over. And I've done it 3 times now, 3-0. And Mikey Money has a big sample size of it working as well. Shout out to you. So I'll double up here. I'll go first 5 full game over. And Jimmy, you've seen these now a couple of times as yourself. The weird thing about it is they are never close. They soar over, and it's pretty surprising to me every time. I don't like betting it. I mean, it goes against all that I believe in capping, but it's successful. So first 5 full game over. First 5 over 4 minus 117 for me, and then full game is minus 114, 7.5.
Oh, full game over 7.5. What was the juice?
Minus 114.
Minus 114 for Jose. So you have a Cardinals team that doesn't hit lefties, and yet they destroyed Abbott on the 28th of May, 5 starts ago. They absolutely destroyed him. 6 earned runs, 2 jacks. He couldn't get strikeouts. He couldn't get anything going. And I don't have the reasoning behind that, which also adds another mistake here, thinking that the Cards are not hitting lefties, but if you concluded the end of May, they would be. Yeah. TJ saying Michaelis earned runs under 2.5 on his card, one of his favorite plays today. DC Capper on St. Louis and the under 8.5, so a big run move. The Clark Edge loving the Reds here. Cardinals on back-to-back. And Jose moving on these overs. I can't do it. I can't even get involved here. Can't even get involved. So let's move on to the next ball on the board. 8:10 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 races left. Excuse me, I'm thinking of Gavin, looking at Gavin Henry's horseshoe Indy race 9. 2 games left before we get into our horse race. Guardians, Kansas City Royals, Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Ben Lively going up against Michael Walker. Let's get into the weather here in Kansas City. 88 Fahrenheit, 12.6 miles per hour right to left, out to the left, slightly out to left field pole, dies down to 8.1 miles per hour. Let's get into the line history and the cash flow. From a line history standpoint, this total is sitting right now at 9, heavily juiced to the under. Opened up at 8.5, and we're now at a 9. Move over to the money line. On the money line, this is sitting here at minus 113. They're at minus 113. Opening up at minus 109, now minus 113. 4 cents of movement towards Cleveland. Let's get to the cash flow. In the cash flow, 64% of tickets, 77% of cash on Cleveland. And on the total, we are sitting here with 96% of tickets. 97% of tickets, 98% cash on the over. Ben Lively has been good this year. 3.03 ERA, 1.16 whip. His last start, he had the back-to-back starts against the Jays. The Jays are a meek offense, and he handled them fine. 5 2/3, 2 earned runs, solo shots. On the road, 3.75 ERA, 243 opponent's batting average, not quite as good. Michael Walker has a disjointed year. He's battling injuries, but still 4.07 ERA, and it's gone 73 innings. His last start allowed 1 earned run, solo shot, and a 6-0 loss at the Rangers. He has struggled at home, 4.28 ERA, and just 27 in the third there, but 286 opponent's batting average. The Royals are not hitting. We keep talking about it here. 217, 657 OPS versus righties since June 1st, while the Guardians continue to rake. 261, 779 OPS. And the Guardians bullpen is 2.09 runs better than the Royals bullpen over 9 innings. Take it away for us, Jose. Guardians, Royals.
Shout to Matty Ice. He says he smells taint which always has a pungent smell, but I have not seen
It's here.
taint yet.
Taint is in. Taint is in. The taint play today is the Cleveland Guardians minus 110. Shout out to our guy, Matty Ice. Jose, taint is on the Guardians. What's your plan?
Yeah, so is the Dap Cap pod as well. Shout out to you, Dapper Capper on the Guardians. I mean, Jimmy, I don't know if you agree with me, but doesn't this just seem like such a trap at minus 110? Like, I feel like the Guardians are so much better than the Royals, and this is one of those times where I will jump into the trap with everyone else. I think the Guardians win this game. I'm surprised they're minus 110. I guess it's because Ben Lively's on the bump. But I mean, I don't know. It just feels like such an easy Guardian spot for me. And again, I said it, I've been saying it for the last few days. The Guardians might be this year's Orioles from last year, who just continue to win, and are undervalued in the market all year. So I like the Guardians here. I'm going to move on them with Taint, with the Dap Cap pod as well. Shout out to you both. Don't feel great about it, but at least it's moved a little bit. It's minus 116 now at Bet Online with 77% of the money and 64% of the bets is. I guess it's okay, but I'll take it minus 116 there. And I just think this is a shocking line, to be honest. I think it should be at least like minus 140. But
Jose, on the Guardians, you got what, minus 116?
Yeah. And Troy's saying it's a trap, and yeah, I mean, I think this is has trap written all over it, but I'll join in.
BJ thinks it's a trap too, says Royals or nothing. And Kelly McInnes says, bring out the pillow. He's on the minus 1.5 for the Guardians, I'm guessing. Guardians, yes. I'm guessing at minus
I'm guessing
1
as well.
At
By the
plus
way, Kelly sent me a good image to use with the Bite the Pillow, so you have to mock that up, but we might have that soon as well.
I like the sounds of all of that. I've seen the image as well. Shout out to our guy Kelly McInnes. Jose's on the Guardians minus 116. Taint play today's Cleveland money line, and I don't feel comfortable in that spot. We see Matty Ice also on the under 9.5. Did you look at the total, Jose?
No, I with all the money on the over, I kind of swore off the totals today because I'm like, you know what? I know I'm going to see some that go a half run down with all this money on the over. And again, you've been murdered after the big success in the first month of the season. You've just been murdered on those. So that's why I kind of stayed off.
All that money on the over in all of these games, but this one is sitting at 9, juiced to the under, and it opened up at 8.5. So a few of them have followed suit.
Oh, and by the way, Troy says, of course, the Royals pulled a rabbit out yesterday. Love the Guards. So I was wrong. I didn't read your first comment, Troy. Sorry.
Let's talk the final spot on the board before our horse race. 9:38 p.m. Eastern. We have the Detroit Tigers 37-43, 18-21 on the road at the LA Angels 33-46, 15-25 at home. Matty Ice, the total opened at 49.5 and is now at 53.5. I hear Capper's on the under. It's a really now that it's gone so high. I had every opportunity to move on it at 49.5. I was putting in my action and I didn't move on it. So I guess I wasn't that bullish on it. Now I wish I was on it because it's a 53.5, but I'm not comfortable with the total. And Ron Crawford on the lines, minus 7.5. Lines have been beating up on the Elks. I'm on the Elks plus 8. I have not moved on a total yet in this card at this point. But we have the spreadsheet play today. Speaking of our Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog play today is the LA Angels at plus 140. Shout out to our guy, Ron Crawford. Here we go. And Troy Torrance, it's a trap, not one set for the public. Was the finish.
Gotcha.
Let's talk about this spot here. Tigers, Angels, DC Capper drinking the juice with these Tigers at minus 166. The question is, who is Davis Daniel making his major league debut this evening for the LA Angels? He was a 7th round pick in the 2019 draft out of Auburn, and he has worked his way up. 27 years old. This is not his major league debut. Sorry, it was last year. My bad. It was last year. This is the first start of his career. The first start. Last year, he came out of the pen and looked pretty good. This year, in 14 starts at AAA Salt Lake City, thin air, balls flying, he was not very good. 5.33 ERA, 1.50 whip. That is Davis Daniel here. Going up against the Detroit Tigers team that is meek offensively. 213, 627 OPS, first righties. I was looking very closely at this first 5 under, but I wanted to talk it out with you guys because it is hot in LA and the wind is blowing out. Tonight, it opens at 75 Fahrenheit, 8.7 miles per hour out to center field. Dives down to 7.8 miles per hour. Let's get into the total in this one. It's sitting at 8.5 minus 107 to the under. This opened up at 8 and it moved to 8.5. Then it dropped back to 8, 11.42, but it's back at 8.5. Market moving towards the over. I'd like just to see that first 5 here. Again, you'd have to trust Davis Daniel. And it's at 4.5. It's minus 123 to the under. This opened up at 4. Now it's at 4.5. I mean, it's not very appealing, even though that Flaherty is obviously rolling right now. He had thrown 3 straight starts without allowing a run, then allowed 1 run in his last start. We have the Angels right now at plus 131. So there's been a huge move towards the Angels. The Tigers are minus 143. They opened up at minus 158. They got to minus 160 at 9:52 a.m. And now there's been a move towards the Angels. Minus 143 is the Detroit Tigers. Now, from a cash flow standpoint, we have this with 96% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. And on the money line, we have 28% of tickets, 42% of cash on the Angels. Jerry Davis says under again. This market move towards the Angels tells me that Davis Daniel is going to pitch well, not because he's a good pitcher maybe, but because the Tigers can't hit righties. Take it away, Jose. Tigers, Angels.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jerry. Another under that did interest me because, again, you're right. The Tigers just bad offensively, and that feels like what their issues are going to be like forever until they can finally figure this shit out, which is kind of funny to see. Detroit this month against righties, 78 weighted runs created plus. Just bad. And you're right. Davis, 3 appearances, 5 shutout last year as well. Pretty impressive. Minor leagues, full season has not been good, but last 2 starts have been at least pretty good. 6 2/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 5 Ks, 2 walks. Walked there, and I should say hit a guy as well. And then before that, 6 2/3, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks, 3 walks there. So I will also put my faith in this man and let him take my bankroll to where it might go here today. So under here for me as well. Now, one of the more, I guess, worrisome factors is that allegedly, according to BetOnline, this opened up at 8 yesterday. But I have a feeling this total changed up because of pitcher, decisions, et cetera, et cetera. This went from a 8 minus 125 at 11.50 to 12.50 to being 8.5 minus 110 each way. So, I think I'll go under here as well. Now, obviously, deciding first 5 in full game is always a little difficult for me because, again, I've been getting murdered first 5. But in this scenario, I want to take first 5 here to avoid an Angels bullpen specifically that scares me. Tigers bullpen in the last few weeks, I'll tell you guys right now real quick. Detroit 14th, 3.86 ERA and a 3.88 FIP. Angels not much worse at 4.12, 3.77 FIP. So kind of expecting some positive regression from you. So, I'll go full game under here.
Oh, great news from Top Crocodile. Dakota Joshua, 4-year deal with the Canucks. So what was your you made reasoning that you don't think was all cash related on the total moving?
Yeah, I don't know when the pitcher was announced exactly.
Around 7 or 8 in the morning, the books were all on Davis Daniels.
Okay. So that's interesting because we went from 8 minus 125 to over straight to the 8.5 minus 110 was a little sus for me. That is the worrisome factor of this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much of a difference. A half run costing 15 cents. I don't think there's much of a difference between over 8 at minus 125 and 8.5 at minus 110. The fact that this is moving to the over the way it is uncomfortable. Matty Ice not scared at all. He's backing Flaherty, but it's sort of the market's sort of saying that Flaherty might be the one vulnerable here. To give you an idea, that 15 cents is no real move, Jose. There's a 19-cent difference between the 8 and the 8.5 at Pinnacle. You get the over 8 right now, minus 124. You can get the over 8.5 minus 105. So it's I wouldn't put too much.
And by the way, I just looked at first 5 movement. Opened up at 4 minus 120. Now at BetOnline minus 126, and everywhere else you're seeing 4.5 starting to pop up here as well. Honestly, I think that'll be enough to get me off. Then I just don't like betting again, and you guys have heard me say that I hate betting the trend that goes the opposite way from the market here. So I guess I'll stay off here, but I guess under is a very heavy lean, then we can say.
Yeah, I'm going to have to I can't do it. You know what? I need it to correlate more than this is correlating. I respect that you guys are on the under. At wine time saying Angels have their 2 setup guys and closer fresh. Cash flow play of the day, Flaherty over 6.5 Ks. My quantity of action is going down, but my ROI is going up. If I sit here with 2 bets, I'm comfortable with it. I'm going to stay off of that one, even though I kind of wanted to, which means only 2 bets for me in MLB. And my unit size is much higher than, of course, WNBA, but I'm going to need to cash it after missing those first 2 spots. It sucks. I hate starting out like that. Let's review all action because we will be racing. And what animal are we racing today for $50, Jose? Oh, I like it. Is it all in one race?
Yeah, sure. Let's ride.
All in one. Just a minute sprint for us today. So here we go. Let's review all action. Jose on the Twins at minus 103 to get his card started. And I'll be joining him on the Twins with David Festa in his Major League Baseball debut. And hesitantly, because I like the way Montgomery's pitching, but the Twins are just destroying lefties right now, and I've got to trust that. So I'm going to be on the Twins here. Then off of that Giants Cubbies spot, Billy Friedrich Pig Milk play today is the Cubs' first 5 money line. He's also on Chris Sale over 18.5 outs in the Braves White Sox game. Mikey Money's grandma's wearing her sister's panties again. Play today. White Sox plus 1.5 in the under 8 at plus 265. And Jose has moved on the big dog. Jose first 5 plus 240 and full game plus 250. Cab is on the Philadelphia Phillies minus 1.5 minus 126 and the team total over 4.5. Morgan Spooner Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs is a Pissy Cheerios play of the day. And Von Polo is on Brandon Marsh total bases over at this point. And then I'm going to be on the first 5 under 4 in Rangers Orioles. First 5 under 4, but I still have some hesitancy. BJ bullish on the Orioles minus 1.5. Justin McKelvey stacks play today. Yankees team total over 4.5 at even money. Jose's on the first 5 over 4 in the full game over 7.5 in Reds Cardinals Abbott Michaelis. Jose's on the Guardians minus 116. Taint play today is also the Guardians minus 110. Cash flow play today. Jack Flaherty over 6.5 Ks minus 128. Ron Crawford spreadsheet play today is the Angels at plus 140. The dog spreadsheet play today is 19 and 12 plus 13.6 units. And for some reason, I thought I had, I don't know what I did with, there, ribeye play today right there, sorry, is IKF, Isaiah Kiner Falefa at plus 245. He's 4-0 since our new graphic, plus 7.4 units. Jose, did I miss any of your action?
No, I think you're good, yeah.
Ron Crawford says Daniel has to cut down on walks for him to succeed. Mally Mouse says, should we be fading Rangers? What's the record for them first game of the series? I don't have that on my stats here on my worksheet. I do not have that information here. But that is our MLB breakdown. It is time to race horses. We have $50 on the line. George Wood is our latest gold member here. George Wood, we love you. Thank you for being a gold member of Pub Sports Radio. One race, 1 minute, $50 on the line. Jose, my friend, open up the first 30 seconds and I'll close it up. Good luck to all.
Yep, good luck to everyone in this race. Should be very exciting. And yes, Ron Crawford, we covered at WNBA at the top of the show, so don't worry about that.
I will review all action at the end.
Yes, so don't worry about that, Ron. Let's get to racing here. A beautiful day. Whimsical dogs out there. Nutflush Allen started off hot. Saturated up in the mix there as well. J-Dub, Zoe Faye, Old E, Sharon Pullian, and our guy T in the mix here as well. Look at the old Jimmy the Bag, the 60 dog in the mix here. Lexicon, Matty Ice in the bottom there, but Saturated leading at old 69. Very nice, Saturated. Very nice.
I'm that heat moving forwardly. So is BT, our guy BT, Chris Bogan as well. Chris Bogan making a heavy move on the inside. TJ Parks coming in. So is Rod Zawacki, Will Bardo. BT trying to hold on to the lead. Here comes Director 97. Jimmy the Bag still close enough to fire, but who's got late pace? Director 97, Juan Chavez. All right, here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can Smoke and Mirrors. Director 97, Billy Friedrich. Shows one all coming down to the finish. Coin! Our man Coin gets the papier. Shout out to our guy Coin. Kenny Can in second. Browns Hughes in third. Dutch Boy Fresh fourth. And the Big Ragu in fifth. Coin $50 richer. Add a boy Coin. Please email us at pubsportsradio@gmail.com to get your cake. Excellent work here. Excellent work. Top 10, Jarek White, Joey Marinaccio, Lexicon, Fernando Mendoza, Director 97, who's always in the mix. Bigger Goo, Dutch Boy, Fresh, Browns Hughes, Kenny Can, and Coin. Saturated, yes, you were firing too early, too heavy. Let's review other sports here. In the Copa, Jose coming off 3-0 action. He's on both teams to score at plus 110 and both teams to score and USA to win at plus 260. That's at 6 p.m. Eastern, Panama, USA in Atlanta, Georgia. There's Coin, $50 richer. Then in the late game, he's off Uruguay, Bolivia. Then in CFL, I'm on the Elks plus 8. Stimmy OG is on the Elks plus 8 and the under 54.5. Again, that opened up at 49.5. Pinnacle will say 52.5, but they're putting their CFL bets out on Tuesday. We're moving on Sunday. In WNBA, I have lost my first two bets of the season, and disappointing. Are they going to be my last two bets of the season? This live total, and Dallas Wings coming back here on that first half. That's 45-39. You guys are that first half still a possibility here. Now the Lynx have the ball, and they are up 6 right now with a minute and a half.
And first quarter?
Sorry?
You took first half and
No, I only had first quarter and the first quarter under. First quarter under. Too many points scored in this. A live total at 172.5. The Lynx got the rebound, missed the shot and got the rebound for those. It looks like show us a foul. Lynx aren't in the bonus, but I know might be a shooting foul. I'm not sure. 6-point lead right now for the Lynx. We'll take a look at that here in a second. And that is our action. Viper MB on the Giants and the Yankees. Gerald Jones is on the St. Louis Cardinals run line, first 5. And Coin, 2 wins in the book now. 2 wins. And Wings ball, says Kelly McInnes. So Wings in possession here with 109 left. And the Lynx have fouled and the Wings are in the bonus. So it was just my mistake taking the first quarter. Wings look like they're starting to move forwardly in this one. That live total was 172.5, which I actually have some interest in. But now it's at 170.5. Ron Crawford, WNBA play today is Seattle minus 8.5. We've already reviewed all the MLB action. Let's get into the WNBA action. We have the Sun minus 10 for Brizzy and Asia Wilson over 26.5 points. Now, he likes Caitlin Clark PRA under in the Storm, but he hasn't moved yet. And we now have a 4-point game. Wings down 4, 45-41 with 1 minute and 1 second left. Now a minute left. Thank you to everybody in the chat here. We'll wait till the end of this. We want you guys to cover. Lynx missed. Come on, tell me Wings ball. Look at this. All I had to do was take the first half and not the first quarter. God. Should have just taken the first quarter and first half, but it is what it is. Not great, but it is what it is. Mal says Wings plus 10 was a great pick. I mean, you could have gotten plus 14.5 there a while ago. Now 45-43, a 2-point game.
Jesus.
Fucking annoying. There you go. Mal says stacks. Yes, shout out to our guy Justin McKelvey. Thank you to all of you guys. LQ, Mal, Justin McKelvey, Coin, Kelsey, Mikey, Money, Kelly McInnes, Ron Crawford. Thank you, guys. Joseph Gomez in the house. Saturated. Thank you. George Wood, now a gold member of Pub Sports Radio. I'm that Heat 101. Benny, the truth teller. Thank you all. Matty Ice, great to see you back in business. Wine Time Sports, Markel, Jerry Davis, Troy Torrance, Reginald Codes, Old E. Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for all you do. Red Girl, and all of you guys, thank you so much. Robert Franklin, thank you. Dave Redling, AOD, thank you. And Jose, my friend, thank you for all that you do. Yes, the first half has cashed for all of you guys. 45-43 is the score. Excellent work. Excellent work. Goddamn first quarter getting me in the drink hole. Jose, my friend, can you please bless our action and lead us into the future?
Yep. Shout out to you guys. A lot of great insight given out on these shows. Shout out to Daby Cab, by the way, for calling that 40-40 Astros thing. We appreciate Daby Cab for joining us on the programs. And of course, I mean, I've got to play this at least once. He's -5 units right now, guys, but just wait. Snap your fingers. That guy's going to be up units again. So shout out to you, Daby Cab, and congratulations on your call on the Astros there. But yeah, it's going to be a great day, guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. Shout out to you guys, Old E, Justin, Sports Money, Top Croc, Saturated, Justin, Mal, LQ, Kelsey, Ron Crawford. It's nice to see all of you as always. Let's go get some motherfucking money today.
And Jose, guys, we have a season debut from Dommy Gun Ricci. Gun Ricci joining us tomorrow. Long Island in the house.
Long Island. Shout out to Strong Island. Leche. A Los Bookmakers.